What's up, Level Uppers? Welcome to the Level Up Show, episode 286. This is a gaming dedicated talk show on every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I am one of your co-hosts, Andrew. I make the show Midori, and I'm joined tonight by the tech guru, Agent Vincent himself.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Vince.
Hey.
Let's try this again. We had a little flub there to those watching the recording. So our second attempt right now. Hopefully everything's okay. But Vince, how you doing, man? How's everything?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what did you work today? What were your hours?
My work hours today were around 7:30 in the morning to about 3:30 today. So it wasn't like...
So you had a little bit of recovery time. That's good, at least.
A little bit of recovery time, yeah. It's just the holidays are always been... They're always a bit of a busy time for us. And we've been lucky with lighter days during the work, but we're also doing a lot of planning ahead for the future. Developing a brand new food item. I'm really excited about that. Yeah. I work at a local pizza shop here in my hometown, and it's pretty cool. Got some really cool things, working for us, I guess.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah, how's work been for you, man?
Yeah, it's still going really well. Still finding my place in it all at my new job, and doing a lot of traveling. I'm gonna start doing a lot of site visits pretty soon, construction site visits, and starting to learn the construction process more than ever. And I think it was a rough week commute-wise. What sucks right now, especially starting right now at the very beginning, is that it gets dark at like 4:30 p.m., 5 o'clock p.m. So I'm going home in the dark, and it's been raining a lot as well. So rush hour on this road at night with rain is just the worst combination. So commute's been pretty rough. It took me about 2 hours and 10 minutes to get home on Friday. It's been a little rough commute wise, but I'm listening to a lot of podcasts now. It's been a long time since I've been listening to podcasts, but I've been listening to Kind of Funny Games Cast, been listening to Game Informer Show, Easy Allies, and a little bit of Sacred Symbols. But I talked about this on Thursday with the Game Awards. I have to say, I almost don't want to get into this territory because I don't want to like bash somebody else's product, but I have to say, Sacred Symbols is a bad podcast.
Oof.
It is a bad, poorly run, low effort podcast.
Oof.
And that's not because I have problems with Colin Moriarty, although I do have some problems with him. I respect his knowledge of the industry and all that, but he is not a good host for a podcast. And Chris Raygun, although I think I like him as like a person, he seems like a humorous guy. He seems like a down-to-earth guy, and I probably would enjoy hanging out with him. His knowledge of the gaming industry and games as a whole is lacking unlike any other podcast I've ever seen.
Oof.
Or heard. It's just a really poor podcast, and it has a lot to do with, it doesn't seem like they do a lot of planning ahead of time, agenda wise, like what are some special segments we can do this week, how can we switch it up. It's just always the same. It's always Colin Moriarty talking 90% of the time because Chris Raygun doesn't know as much, and whenever Colin goes to him, it's like I don't know, here's like a quick 1 or 2 sentences, and then back to you, Colin, for 30 minutes. Like, it's just what I never want the show here to become, honestly. So it's been good to listen to it in a way, because it's been somewhat inspirational to me and educational to me to like listen to Easy Allies versus Kind of Funny versus Sacred Symbols. And in my opinion, Easy Allies is without a doubt the best one, and that has a lot to do with the personalities, but also has a lot to do with how much work Kyle Bossman puts into the show every single week when it comes to creating entirely new segments or dipping back into old segments that people haven't heard in a while. It's like, oh, we're going to bring this one back but change it up to fit with today's news. And it seems like throughout the entire week, Kyle Bossman is sitting down. He's like, okay, here's the news this week. How can I create a new segment or utilize past segments to accentuate what's happening in the world of gaming? How can we keep this fun and innovative and exciting? And I think he's a great host and inspirational to me. And like, how can I change things up on this show for the better? So I'm happy to be getting back into podcasts in a big way. The commute is something that's actually helped in that way. So I feel bad doing that. It's like, it's not like our show is the best show ever. It's not like I'm an amazing podcast host or anything like that. But I really do feel like, considering how well Sacred Symbols does and how well Colin's doing on his Patreon, like, it really surprised me. I was like, this is one of the lowest quality podcasts I've heard in a long time.
Yeah. That's it's funny. I'm not really a huge podcast guy, and I've actually been starting to kind of um sort of start listening a little bit. Not to an extent yet. It's been more like a random type thing. But it always sucks when you find something like that where you see someone who's doing that well, but like then like the product that they're giving out is like, why is this so subpar in a way?
In a way, and like this is so cynical for me to think, but it almost seems like he knows his audience isn't going anywhere. And it's like,
so there's no drive there.
Yeah, there's no drive for him to really. There's no motivation for him to innovate and do something new each week because he's not going to lose these guys. And I think it has a lot to do. And I don't want to get like super political, but I think part of it is a little political actually on his end. I think the divide between him and Kind of Funny, like I feel like the right went with him, and they partially are sticking with him because he represents that to them. And it's like, I'm going to support you no matter what, because politically you're on my side. Right. And I think I think he knows that to an extent. I think he knows that he has them in the bag, and he can abuse that to a certain extent. And it's something we knew about him, even when he was that Kind of Funny, if you're like reading between the lines, that he wasn't that motivated really to work, long hours to do something special, or it seemed like whenever he was talked about on the show before and after, he was I don't want to call him lazy, but he definitely wasn't the guy that was in the meetings like, yeah, let's do this, let's do that, I've got this great idea, I've got that great idea, I'm going to work on this myself, I'll do it on my own time. Like, that wasn't him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm going to show up and I'm going to share my knowledge, which is a lot. The great knowledge of the industry and my connections in the industry. I'm going to share that. That's my thing. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But I like podcasts that try to do something special, because there's so many. There's so many.
So many.
And they're all doing the same things, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome to the show. We got Blade in here. Long time no see to you. And Thunder's quiet. Not too much. We had a small downtime there. We're back up and running now, and we're really just chatting right now. We're not really into anything just yet. We have a stacked show tonight. A lot to talk about. Nobody go anywhere. But sorry to cut you off there, Vince. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was just saying the only thing that I've been actually kind of doing a little bit is, I've been streaming a little bit more. It's been kind of all over the place considering my schedule. Kind of going into what I've been playing has been, I played a little bit of Pokemon Sword.
Nice.
And I've been enjoying it. It's funny to me that like I talked to Mike a lot off stream and off the show and everything like that. Mike and I have gotten really kind of close with that type of stuff because we bounce off. We're pretty similar with the ideas that we have and stuff. Yeah. And it's funny to me that for all of the sake of controversy that I heard about this title, I was like, this is a really solidly well done game. It's just, I think the problem is I feel like Game Freak needs to let go of it, and they need to let someone else come in and do something with it.
Interesting.
And here's the thing, because like it's a good Pokemon game, and I'm gonna say a chat right now. I am not a hardcore Pokemon fan. I don't do EV training. I don't do any of that stuff.
And you can tell because you say Pokemon.
Yes.
Yes, I do the same thing, but I know in the past during like reactions and whatnot, it's like, oh, you can tell this guy's a scrub, a noob. He says Pokemon. It's Pokemon.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either.
But what's really cool about this is that they have this area called the Wild Area in the game. And so they still have like the old route system where you do like route 1, route 2, route 3.
Yeah.
But what's really cool is they have like the whole let's go, the Pokemon are out and about. What's really cool is that there's actually not random encounters in the game. Like it's not like you just walk through grass and it's going to magically pop up. There'll be an exclamation point that points up in the ground, and that's like the area that you want to run into. So you can still avoid it. So what's really cool is you can actually completely avoid all these wild Pokemon. And it's awesome. But what's really cool is when you get to the wild area the first time, it's this big open world in this way. I mean, it's small in a way when you actually look at the scale of it, but like it's open. It's like you're like, holy crap! There's lakes, there's rivers, there's mountains. Oh my gosh, there's Pokemon everywhere. It's so awesome. And what happens is then you just kind of go, you do this little segment of it. You're having fun with the raid battles. You're doing this. You're catching Pokemon. Everyone's leveling up. You're camping with your Pokemon. You're doing this like little cooking mini game, which is like awesome. And then you go back into the whole gym thing, and then you do this whole route thing. And it's just like, it feels like there's two games there, And it was like they didn't want to go all in on the open world aspect of it. They still wanted to make sure there was the root system in there. And I was like, no, get rid of that. Throw that out. Put that on the beaten path. Make that the beaten path that goes through there. But make it all open world. It's very interesting. I wonder if you ever play it. I wonder if you'll share.
I think I understand what you're saying, but at the same time, it would be, I think, somewhat disappointing for Game Freak to leave it behind right now, because they're finally getting towards a more console-like Pokemon game. And like, now I want to see, like, they clearly are in new territory in a way, trying to increase in scale and do something a little bit more ambitious. And this is their first try at that. So I'd like to see them give it another try and see how they learn from this one and see if they can grow to become more of like a AAA console game, as opposed to something that still feels like it's meant for portable devices, but is dipping its toe in the AAA console space.
I guess,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I get what you're saying here. I think the problem is that it's the not the, I don't want to say the grunts, that's the worst way, but like the actual general workforce and department, like the more of like the senior leader, like not senior leadership, but like animation heads and gameplay heads or programmers, they want to go this way. Whereas the very top up of Game Freak is like, no, we're doing the same thing we've been doing. You know, they don't want to rock that boat too much. And that's where I'm thinking, like, you almost need someone to kind of come in and prototype that other new way and show that it can actually work. And then Game Freak, I think, would be more on top, because Game Freak's morale, even with Pokemon still selling like crazy, it apparently is just still decimated with the amount of work there. So I don't know, but it's been fun. I did Dota 2 for a little bit.
Yeah, a little, meaning you're done now? You're leaving it behind?
A little bit behind. I mean, it's just one of those, the stream wasn't really, the audience wasn't really catching on with it. And well, right now I'm just trying to find something that would be sustainable, not for streaming growth, but anyway, but like building somewhat of a community around that. And it's just,
I get what you're saying. You have to keep that in mind to a certain extent. You have to.
Yeah, and it's just one of those, it's just interesting. I went back and played a little bit of stuff off stream as well. We went back to Division 2 for a hot second. I did a little bit more.
Yeah, I think I saw that Mike and you are like not feeling it.
It's weird to me because like I actually went back and played it again today a little bit after I got on the show. Before we got on the show, I played a little bit and I was like, I can come back and play this. The problem is just like, it's just for the winter event, it's just like, oh, DC is still summery and like sunny. It's like, really? You guys couldn't put snow on DC? Like, it's just weird. And we're just, I'm kind of like in the middle of just like, there's not really anything really pulling me out anymore now. Since like, it's funny, after Death Stranding, I've been like almost emotionally like drained and devastated on most games. It's like, I don't care.
Nothing reaches the heights of Death Stranding for you now. It's ruined gaming.
It's not even that. I think it's just, I think since how involved Death Stranding was from a gameplay perspective for me, that like when I went back and played Assassin's Creed, the whiplash behind that was like, what the hell?
I get what you're saying. That was like me coming off Sekiro, for example.
Right. And, I did finish Fallen Order. I did finish that one. I don't know if I remember.
Yeah, it sounds like you liked it. You maybe even really enjoyed it, but didn't love it. It had like room for improvement.
Oh, it has a massive room for improvement. Here's the thing. This is going to be an Uncharted 2 situation. Fallen Order 2 is going to be one of the best.
I 100% agree with you. Gen. Yeah.
Like, no, I mean, the foundation, the thing is, like, I was looking at the credits and I was like, holy shit, their combat was created by 4 people. Like, that was the one thing when I looked at it, I was like, what?
Well, that in a sense, I understand that you don't have too many cooks in the kitchen when it comes to determining your combat mechanics.
Right, but I mean, like, it also shows, like, there was nothing else. There was no actual like general people working with that and like, going through like quality assurance on that. So that's the reason why the combat can feel so lopsidedly weird sometimes. Like it can go like from being like, wow, this one-on-one duel works to, and that animation window is not good at all. Like, okay, there's weird things like that's why like your perspective on that type of game would be awesome, considering how much you loved Sekiro and everything like that. Playing this, I think you'll kind of understand the same frustrations I kind of dealt with when it was like animations are not nearly up to par in that sense.
I'm thinking I might switch over to it this week.
I'd say do it, dude. I think you should play Death Stranding like on your own time.
God damn it, Johnny. Yeah.
It's just,
I didn't play anything this week, by the way. I had nothing. Yeah. Didn't play anything.
Yeah. I would just say do your own emotion. Like that's your own emotional journey at this point with that game.
Yeah,
I would say
gotcha.
for a stream, it's probably more beneficial for you to switch over to Star Wars. Now, I think you'd have a better time with it. I think the chat would kind of enjoy it a little bit more too.
Oh yeah, I think so
And
too. I'm with you there.
it would just be awesome. And like I said, I'll be really curious to see your thoughts on that then.
Yeah, this week was tough, as I said, commute-wise and all that, so I really had no time at all to play games, and it also led me to a little bit of realization and announcement I'm going to make right now. Saturdays isn't working.
Oh.
No, it's just not. It needs to go back to Sundays for the Level Up show, because it's so hard for me to get a show together by Saturday when I don't have any time during the weekdays to really work on it. Like, really what I'm going to have to start doing is putting it together early Saturday morning, early Sunday morning. And I barely got the show together this morning. I didn't work on it really at all this week. And I got up really early this morning and worked on it. And I was able to throw this together. It's really it's tough to do. So I need that extra day. And also it's just weird. Like Kristen and I both agree. I said it to Kristen today. I was like, I don't really like doing the show on Saturdays. She's like, I don't like you doing it on Saturdays. She's like, I'm used to Sundays. Like, I don't like this. I don't like you going down on Saturdays. So we're going back to Sundays, but I need to start earlier because I can't go to sleep at 1 a.m. On a Sunday when I wake up at 5 a.m. So I'm going to start. I think the plan is, and I'll let you guys know officially this week if anything is changing, but my idea right now, Kristen said the same thing, and I talked with Mike about it tonight, who was over for dinner. I think we're going to do Sundays starting at 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, cool.
Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'd be able to get done by 11:30 maybe. It's fine. I don't mind that. I can get by with like 6 hours of sleep, no problem.
Yeah.
It's just one day. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to go for. Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I didn't want to drag it out. Like Chris and I were talking today. He's like, why don't you just wait until, Mike was saying like, wait until next month to announce it. But Kristen was like, no, do it now. Like, cause why let them get used to Saturdays? Like, let's just nip it in the bud. This was like 3 weeks of this. We tried it out, but like, let's not prolong it. Let's just go back to Sundays, get it done. So Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern time is the idea right now.
And you gotta do what you gotta do, especially with work and everything like that. And I mean, I know for a lot of us in the community, I mean, we appreciate everything about this show. I mean, I'm ecstatic to even be here, just doing co-hosting with you. So I mean, it's always a privilege to be here. And you gotta do what you gotta do to focus on your life, make sure that you're getting things done for yourself.
It'll allow me to make sure that the show stays at that quality level too.
Yeah.
Because if it keeps happening on Saturdays, like I promise you that you'll start to see certain weeks where videos just aren't there. Like I'm just going to be like, guys, I couldn't do videos this week. There's no videos to back up this. So it's just going to be us talking and that's it. And there's nothing wrong with that necessarily. I mean, that's what podcasts are. I'm one of the few people that actually like goes out of the way to try and make sure there's B-roll for everything that we talk about. But that's what I started as my standard. Like if I were to give that up now, I really wouldn't like it. It would feel like I took a huge step back and the show's not near as high in quality as it used to be. Even though it's not necessary, it's expected, I think, now for most of you guys because we've been doing it for 5 years this way. I can't just be like, oh, by the way, guys, starting now, it's just going to be a talking head and a voice on Skype, and that's pretty much it. You know? There needs to be more of that talk show vibe.
Right. Exactly.
That's kind of what we go for here with the Level Up show. So, I'll give you guys an official announcement this week. I'll tweet it out and all of that once it's determined in my mind to be a sure thing that it's going to Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. But thank you guys for understanding, and I do apologize if this was somewhat discombobulating for you, this switch to Saturdays and then back to Sundays. Also, thank you so much to Jacob. Jacob is 11 years old, 11 from Stranger Things. What are we talking about here, Jacob? How you doing? Welcome to the show. We got 19 people in the room. Keep sharing the show, ladies and gentlemen. Exclamation point share in the chat, or you could do exclamation point retweet in the chat. Both of those will get the show out there to more people. Let's see if we can get to the 20s and then the 30s, and maybe we can even get back into the 40s tonight, which would be amazing because we have a great show. Lots of good things to talk about. Huge stories. Yeah, huge stories to talk about. So this is a night where I would like to have a lot of people in the chat to take part in the conversation. So I really appreciate anybody that can help out with that. Also to finish off the Spiel Druckmann here, don't forget, supporting the stream means a whole lot. If you want to do above and beyond the follow or the view, you could do anything worth $5 or more and get yourself a spin of the prize wheel. So that means subbing, resubbing, pledging on Patreon, cheering, tipping, hosting for 10 viewers or more will get you a spin. You could Twitch Prime sub gift, community sub gift. All those will give you spins of the prize wheel. We also have our goal that we do every level up show, and that would be a 30-minute after show or a 60-minute after show, $30 and $60 respectively as far as tips go. So we got that goal at the bottom of the screen, as well as our daily sub goal and all those things as well. So yeah, don't forget, you guys can get those wheel spins and get that extra after show, which is entirely focused on talking to you guys in the chat. The agenda really takes over the level up show for those first 2-3 hours, because we're trying to get through the stories, and this is all about being a podcast talk show in that way. But if you want to ask us questions, you want to communicate with us about what's going on in your life, whether it be gaming or otherwise, that is for the after show. Get to that $30 or $60 and we will stick around for you tonight. And with that, let's get out of what we've been playing and get into the official non-gaming portion of the show. It's called The Level Up Show Has No Game. 3 non-gaming topics at 3 minutes each. Are we ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
First up, it has no game. We're going to do a little trailer recap because this was a big week for trailers. And if you take into account late last week as well, that also had some big ones. But we're going to start off with Wonder Woman 1984, Ghostbusters Afterlife, and Free Guy. Wonder Woman 1984. Did you watch the trailer, Vince?
Actually, I have not yet.
No? Okay, let me put up full video for you then here.
Yeah, no, I see it. I'm watching it a little bit right now, and I've seen a lot of GIFs on it and everything like that for it. And I mean, her outfit is bright.
Right? That's the first thing I noticed too. So they brightened up, saturated her suit. I think it looks great. I love it. Great. The lasso is now like front and center too.
I love it.
Really
it's great.
Making a big deal out of the lasso. So that's really cool. And there's some really neat set piece scenes you'll see in this trailer that, well, actually you won't see it here because I cut it off before the end, but there's one where she's literally riding lightning at the end, like lassoing lightning and swinging between bolts. It's kind of nuts, but really cool. So yeah, I'm on board with this. I really love the music choice. It takes place in 1984, of course, and they used, I always think of the song being done by Orgy. They were the ones who remade it, and I forget the name of the song, but it's like an iconic 80s song, and it works so well in the trailer. Everybody check it out. So that's a good one. What did you think of Ghostbusters Afterlife? Did you watch that one?
I did, and I was indifferent about it. I mean,
I agree.
It, but like, you know, it's one of those, the Ghostbusters franchise for me is just one of those, like, I guess I never really got hooked with, so I just always kind of watched it, if that makes sense.
No, I get you. Yeah, Ghostbusters, I was late to the party. Obviously, I didn't watch it in the 80s because I wasn't born yet. By the time I did watch it, probably like early 2000s, literally watch it all the way through from beginning to end. It was like, okay, yeah, that was good. I liked it. I enjoyed it, but I don't know if I understand why it was this big cultural phenomenon. It didn't really land for me in that way, but I did enjoy it. This one seems to very much feed off nostalgia.
Yes.
And rightfully so, probably. I mean, it's literally directed by the son of the original director. You know, it's like, there's a lot of legacy going on here. It just this trailer in particular didn't grab me, and it was very confusing in tone and surprising in tone, and I'm not sure it's entirely what I want, but I really like Ivan Reitman, and that's his name, right? That's not I'm trying to remember if that's the father or the son. I'm drawing a blank now. Jason Reitman, the son, is Jason Reitman. I really like him as a director. Up in the Air, for example, I thought was a great film, and actually was my best picture choice for that year. So I believe that he can do a great job with this. But let's move on to the final one. We only got 18 seconds. Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. We finally got to see. Awesome, right?
I love it. Awesome. I mean, it's going to be one of those I'm going to enjoy it just because it's Ryan Reynolds.
He's perfect for this kind of role once again, but it really seems to be delivering on this like Grand Theft Auto Online world and this NPC coming to life within it and becoming this action hero. I think it's a great idea, and I'm excited to see more. So
I mean, I just love the humor for it. It's great. I can't wait.
Poll in the chat, which trailer did you guys enjoy the most of those three? We're going to move on to another movie story here, which I thought was kind of humorous. Do you ever hear of the movie that just came out recently in America called Playmobil, the movie?
Nope. The only time I ever heard of it was whenever you sent me these notes.
Exactly, Vince. Exactly. Even though you've never heard of it, it released in over 2,000 theaters, 2,000 screens for Playmobil, the movie. And because of that, it is now the third worst opening in box office history. This is the true definition of a box office bomb. All right, so it did $656,000 opening weekend on over 2,000 screens. It's actually more like close to 2,500 screens. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Like, it's clearly trying to go for a Lego movie type thing.
Yeah.
But I had no idea this thing was even coming. Maybe it's just because I don't watch the right channels or whatever. Like, it's obviously a kid's movie. But what were they thinking here? I think this is a European property, so maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't even heard of anything. I mean, nothing. I haven't seen tweets. I didn't even see anything on Recetera. I didn't see anything on anything about this movie. So
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, it just wowed me, and it made me wonder like what other box office bombs were out there. So as far as box office bombs that released in 2,000 theaters or more, the top one is called The Oogie Loves in the Big Balloon Adventure.
What the
That did $445,000 on over 2,000 screens opening weekend. That's a lot of screens. They put money into this.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. The second one I did hear about, and I remember this one, called Delgo. That one did $511,000. Do you remember that CGI bomb?
I don't.
No, yeah, look it up. It kind of has like an Avatar vibe to it, actually. Oof. So that was another one I thought of. And up on screen right now is a huge box office bomb, but for a different reason. Not because of its opening weekend, but overall gross. Mortal Engines looks like it's the worst one in history, actually. Wow. Let's see here. As far as its estimated loss goes, nominally, it was $175 million loss on that film. That was Peter Jackson that produced this one, too.
Right.
Didn't direct it, but he produced it.
Yeah.
Number 2, I was surprised. A Wrinkle in Time really bombed.
I remember not talking about that. I remember reading that, and people were like, "How did this fail so bad?"
Right, Wrinkle in Time was great. I used to love that book as a kid.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was even with the star power they had, it was like, how did this fail?
Ava DuVernay as a director, like, come on, yeah. What the hell happened there? This is not adjusted for inflation, by the way, because if you did that, it would be different. John Carter, I did know. That's number 3. I knew that was a big bomb.
That killed that actor's career.
Yep, Taylor Kitsch, really destroyed him. Lone Ranger, that was another big bomb with Johnny Depp. I knew about that. Terminator Dark Fate is now on the list, too. Number 7, I think. So that's interesting. Moving on from that, final story here, continuing with movie news. This kind of blew my mind to know that this is still going on and in a way almost like escalating. Bob Iger wants to meet with Martin Scorsese to talk about the Marvel comments. Like, it seems like they want to have a brawl almost. That's what this reads as.
It's almost like they literally want Martin Scorsese to come out and say, fine, Marvel's movies are cinema.
Yeah.
I'm done. And he's going to be forced to make a Marvel movie.
Yeah, like the mouse is coming after you. Hollywood Reporter writes, in a new story in Time magazine in which the Disney CEO was named Business Person of the Year, Iger says that the famed filmmaker's comments about his company's superhero movies were nasty and not fair to the people who are making the movies. He adds, if Martin Scorsese wants to be in the business of taking artistic risk, all power to him. It doesn't mean that what we're doing isn't art. Sorry. Iger then said that his and Scorsese's representatives were planning a meeting between himself and the Irishman director. This is only the latest installment in the ongoing saga over Scorsese's remark that Marvel movies are not cinema. Filmmakers including Kevin Feige, James Gunn, and Joss Whedon have all defended the studio for which they have made films, while Iger previously weighed in during an interview with BBC Radio saying, quote, "I don't think he's ever seen a Marvel film. Anyone who has seen a Marvel film could not in all truth make that statement. The protracted saga has continued to Scorsese, as Scorsese has been defended by other filmmakers, including Helmer's Jon Favreau, Francis Ford Coppola, who called Marvel movies despicable. Meanwhile,
sorry, I'm going to interrupt here. I did not know John said that.
Yeah, that's right? Surprising, right? Yeah, especially considering his relationship with Disney right now.
And considering he's the one who started this whole thing. So, it's weird.
Yeah, right.
Continue.
Iron Man started this whole thing. Meanwhile, Scorsese has stood by his remarks while speaking at the London Film Festival and in a New York Times opinion story. In the latter, the director said that today's filmmaking is market researched, audience tested, vetted, modified, re-vetted, and remodified until they're ready for consumption. I will continue to say I understand where Scorsese's coming from, but why does this need to be a conversation? Why did you have to bring it up? Why did you have to call out certain films and certain directors in relation to that? Not directly, but by extension, he's calling out those directors as not putting artistic merit into their properties. Like, why? Why'd you have to do that?
My thing is, like, I have a problem a little bit with that last statement there. Is like I want to be like, Martin, your name is a brand. Like, that's what people put on your trailers, is because they don't sell the movie just because it's a movie. They sell it because it's a movie that you make. Like,
right.
That's the whole thing. Like, so this argument that you're trying to make is like, it can go back to you, dude. Like, I've watched half of The Irishman and I'm like, it's a great movie. But like, again, it's just one of those, like, I don't understand why you had to bring up this conversation, and I don't get why it's still going on.
Yeah, I'm with you. It needs to stop, but I mean, it's Iger now that's continuing it.
Oh man, I mean, like I said,
just let it die.
We're probably going to see Scorsese have to direct a Miss Marvel movie, or
I mean, they have a lot of power, man, and they might make some threats against him. Like, you need to come out, you need to apologize, you need to get on your knees and suck the big mouse's dick, and all will be right, and maybe then we will let you live in this industry. You know, like,
I mean, you got to think about too, if he wants to talk about, and this is another thing I'm going to have against Scorsese a little bit. It's like, with this whole last statement about market research, audience tested, vetted, modified, revetted, it's like, yeah, you also did a limited release for your movie, and it's now on Netflix.
Right.
You're as mainstream as everyone else now, dude. Like,
I need to watch The Irishman still. I haven't gotten around to it since it's such a long movie. I'm not sure when I would fit it in. I did watch with Kristen the other night, Marriage Story. Have you seen that yet?
I have not. I've heard really good things about it.
Fantastic, man. Absolutely fantastic. I really think Adam Driver has a shot at Best Actor on this one.
Ooh, really?
And now I haven't seen Irishman, which is clearly going to bring a lot of nominations. De Niro, Pesci for probably supporting actor. So Al Pacino as well, supporting actor is a possibility. But as far as main actor, Rob De Niro is going to be nominated, I'm sure. But Adam Driver, man, he knocked it out of the park in this one. The range of emotions he brings to this film. Kristen will tell you, not that you'll talk with Kristen, but I was crying at the end pretty good. She turned to me, and I don't think she was affected by it in the same way I was. And I think she looked at, and I don't want to spoil the film, but I think she looked at the ending more positively than I did, which I think isn't a spoiler because it shows that you can look at it both ways.
Yeah.
But for me, I couldn't help but look at all of the negative sides to what happened and how really depressing it was. And it really it stuck in my head all night, and I couldn't sleep. And it took me a little while to fall asleep just because it really affected me in that way. As a father, I guess, to an extent, it affected me in that way. And it had a lot to do with Adam Driver's performance as well. So anybody who wants a little bit of a depressing film to watch, it does have its moments of levity and humor, but overall it is a very sad story. Check it out. Just amazing performances from Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson, as well as all the supporting actors and actresses in the film. And I need to check out everything else that Noah Baumbach has done, because this was fantastic work from him. He's also a writer. I know he's a fantastic Mr. Fox, which I really enjoy. But as far as his other films go, I haven't seen his directing in other films. I've seen other films that he's written. But great young director and writer that I'm now going to be keeping a close eye on. All right, moving on from that, let's get into one of our newer segments here, guys. How you reviewing? Where you guys can get on our Discord at discord.gg/levelupnetwork, submit a game, past or present, for us to review live on the show. And this week we're going to talk about The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, with a caveat: Vince actually has not completed this game, and I did not know that. For some reason I thought Vince had finished Link to the Past. So I'm going to be focusing mostly on this one. I'm going to give you the final score on this one. And we're going to do 3 categories, starting with presentation. So Vince, have you played enough of Link to the Past? Do you remember enough of Link to the Past to know if it sticks in your mind as in its presentational quality?
It's one of those. I'm pretty sure it's old for me. So it's like it's got more of a fuzzy edge to me. Like, so it's like that nostalgia kind of almost there. I remember enjoying it because I remember renting this game a lot when I was a kid, and it wasn't where I could buy it a lot of times, but there was something about this title that I kept renting it over and over and over again. That was back in the day when
Okay.
you can actually rent stuff.
Sure.
And I just remember the colors of it were
I agree.
kind
Yeah.
of amazing to watch and look at, and of course, the music was always great about it, but there was just something magical here, I guess, if that kind of makes sense.
In a way, it's kind of like the beginning of open world in a way.
Right.
Not that the first Zelda isn't, even the first Zelda was similar, but this feels different to me. And like from the very beginning, and going anywhere, and getting those pendants at the beginning, and not knowing really the direction to go, and all the different NPCs and the houses you can go in to find out where to go. It really felt open for that time, and ambitious and large in scale. And that's not even taking into account another thing that was, to me, very fresh at the time. And I can't think of any other game that did it before it, and spoilers for Link to the Past, but the idea of a dark world, like a mirror world in a way. And a lot of people, I remember most recently on Resetera, there was a really great topic where somebody was asking, when does A Link to the Past get good? And it was a really great topic because it was so humorous to watch the saga unfold, because this guy thought he was close to the end of the game. He's like, I can tell I'm close to the end of this game. I got all the pendants. I'm about to go to the castle. Like what the hell? Like, I can't believe this game has such renown. And everybody's like, oh my God, just wait for it. I can't wait for this. I can't wait for this. And then he's like, holy shit, are you kidding me? Like, I'm not even done half the game yet. Like there's a whole dark world. It's such a great twist, and it really expands the game. And it's one of the earliest that I remember doing that. And I'll never forget it for that reason, from a presentational aspect, as well as from a gameplay aspect, which we're in right now. Let's talk about gameplay. I still love to this day the top-down Zelda games. We just did a Link's Awakening remake on Switch not too long ago, and I think it reminded me of how much I enjoy this style of Zelda. What about you? What's your style of Zelda?
Honestly, I like Breath of the Wild style. I like Breath of the Wild style of it more. That's because I'm more, I guess, modern in a way.
Yeah.
However, one of my more favorite Zelda games, which we talked about a while ago, was not Link to the Past or anything like that, but it was Legend of Zelda: The Oracles of Season/Time.
Okay, yeah.
Those two Game Boy Advance games were like, oh my God, I love this. I need this. This game's amazing. I had so much fun playing those, and it was, again, a top-down Zelda game. And I mean, it's so popular. I mean, like, it's still a style that's done to this day, especially for indie games. I mean, it's so well done. It's classic. It's timeless. It's yeah,
it's
good.
Yeah, without a doubt. To me, Link to the Past is top 3 Zelda, actually, for me, even to this day. I think Breath of the Wild is the one that I have a tough time determining if I like it more or less than Link to the Past. I think Wind Waker and Ocarina of Time overall I'd like more than Link to the Past, but they're all very close. It's a very tough race for me. I think as far as like the top down goes, like, this is the standout, and it's one of my favorite games of the entire SNES generation, which is saying a lot, because Super Nintendo was an amazing console with so many fantastic titles such as Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VI, Super Metroid, and God, so many others. So I look back on it with incredible fondness, and I've played it as recently as like less than a year ago, and I think it holds up incredibly well. So well. So yeah, it's from a gameplay perspective, and now from a presentation aspect as well, since it does hold up. Yeah, God, this is timeless. It is definitely, without a doubt, timeless, and that's why I think we need to get into impact. Like this game, one of the first that I remember to do the dark world twist. One of the first that I remember having such an open world aspect. Something that influenced titles like Link's Awakening, which we have on screen right now. And something that we still see them going back to occasionally, even Link Between Worlds, which is very much supposed to be like A Link to the Past in name and in gameplay style. It shows what this game meant and the impact that it had.
Yeah,
right?
No, I agree with you. I mean, like we talked about, it is. They keep going back to it, so it's timeless. It's classic. It is something completely influential, even from the early development that was games at the time. So anyone who's gonna sit there and try to say like, this is a bad game or this isn't a game that deserves any praise, it's like, you need to go backwards.
Check yourself.
Like, you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself a little bit. Like even for me, not even finishing this game, I can still sit there and go, there's nothing negative I can think about this. Like, it's we talked about it's influential.
Without a doubt. I mean, I wouldn't mind another brand new title, not like a remake such as Link's Awakening, but a brand new Zelda title in the style of Link to the Past. Like, that's how much I enjoy that style of Zelda game. I don't really know what else I can say at this point.
You know what I would love to see is I would love to see a Zelda maker. Like a Mario
Yeah,
Maker,
you know what? That's interesting.
Zelda. I think I would.
Link's Awakening in a way has it. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they have a dungeon builder in Link's Awakening.
Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't dabble in it at all, but I think if you could build like a from scratch Zelda game with like the world as well as the dungeons, that would be more interesting to me.
That. Yeah.
Just doing the dungeons wasn't something that I was willing to like jump into and,
Oh my gosh, yeah. Imagine if you could create your own Legend of Zelda, like.
I think if you stuck it to the top down, like old school perspective, I think you could make that type of game.
Like that's what I was saying. Like not a Breath of the Wild or anything like that. Like this style of game. Like it has to be like that template. I think the creative potential that you would have behind it, because it's just such a powerful impact. Yeah.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I give this game a 10 out of 10.
All right, I agree with that. I mean, if I have supplementary 10 out of 10, I'll give that to you. I just, I haven't finished it, so I don't like giving reviews for games I haven't finished. But I see no argument to give it anything else lower.
Yeah, this game is it's something that will stick with me forever. I'll never forget getting the Super Nintendo for the first time and popping this game in and playing on emulation years later as well, going through it a second time. My cousin, I have to give him props for pushing me on titles like this one. It's just, it really, it's a memory. It's a fond memory that I have in this title. It's some nostalgia there, some bias there, I think, because of that. But yeah, it holds up to this day. I think because I did play it less than a year ago, I can say that. Like this holds up incredibly well as a Zelda title. And you guys voted 10 as well in the chat. But holy shit with that hot take from Far Center, man.
Wait, what?
Did you see that hot take from Far Center earlier?
No.
Just from the moment it started, like the very beginning of the segment, he goes, "A Link to the Past is the only good Zelda game."
Wow. I mean,
what the hottest of takes? That is like scolding hot. Oof.
That was like the stovetop is turned on, pan on fire.
Yeah. Like really does not get much hotter than that.
No, but we love Farce for it.
Yeah, that's what we love them for. Anyway, let's do some wheel spins here before we head out to commercial break. First up, we got to give some subs shout outs. Thunder is Quiet starting off with a Twitch Prime resub. This one's for you. And we've got... Oh, we're still on the marbles wheel. I'm sorry, let me switch back over. We were on the marbles wheel because we had a huge tip from All Poo Snacks at the end of our Game Awards stream, which was amazing. And if we get to after show tonight, we'll do marbles for that reason.
Ooh,
but
marbles.
Don't forget, after show is active. We can get the $30 in tips or $60 in tips for a 60-minute after show. So let's spin for Thunder's Quiet. And we've got bonus XP for the next hour. Way to go, Room. After that, we're going to do 3 spins for Kelly because she is tier 3. First up, we've got 10 plus 5 plus 10. That is 25 XP to the entire room. Way to go, Room. After that, we have Johnny Poolside getting 2 spins for tier 2. We've got 30 plus 20. That's 50. 50 to the entire room. Way to go, Room. And after that, I think we had another one too. Kiko, thank you so much for your Twitch Prime resub 2 months in a row. 34 months total. Hey, how you doing? And here's your spin, giving you another 30 XP to the entire room. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for all the support. Keep it coming, guys. Don't forget, anything worth $5 or more will get you a spin of the prize wheel. That means subbing, resubbing, placing on Patreon, sharing, tipping, hosting for 10 viewers and more. All that good stuff gives you spins of the prize wheel. We're going to go to a short commercial break. When we get back, we are getting into the big stuff. We are getting into Xbox Series X. We're getting the Game Awards. We're getting into State of Play and some other big stories as well. So do not go anywhere. Hold on tight. Duroc will be back in approximately 90 seconds. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 286. There's a gaming dedicated talk show on every Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, although that is changing starting next week. We're going back to Sundays, probably starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, so keep that in mind, and sorry for the confusion, but Saturdays just weren't working for me, and we're gonna head that back to Sunday. But we got a great show tonight, about to get into some of the biggest stuff of the week in the level update. But first, let's give some big warm welcomes to everybody in chat. We got another sub coming in here. Tier 3 sub, I believe. No, I gifted sub. I see. I thought Baz was subbing, and I know Baz is tier 3, but no, he gifted a sub. He went to Far Center with that one. Far Center back into the +1 posse. Woo-woo. Good to have you once again. Thank you so much for doing that, Baz. You are amazing, as always. Also, welcome to anybody in here. We got 21 people in the room. Don't forget to share the show, please. Let's get some more people in here. Let's see if we can get into the 30s. Let's see if we can get into the 40s, because we got so much great stuff to talk about. Tonight is the night to bring them all in. Vince is posting in the chat. There you go. Exclamation point share or exclamation point retweet. Either or will help get some people in the room. But yeah, let's not waste any time here. Let's move on here. Let's get into our discussion of the week's biggest gaming industry news. It is called the Level Update. All right, so we could have talked about this during the Game Awards because technically it did announce during the Game Awards, but I wanted to give it its own segment. Entirely.
Yep.
It needed it. Xbox Series X, formerly known as Project Scarlet. It is here. Okay. It is revealed. It's like, this is it. We know what it's called. We know what it looks like. It happened during the Game Awards. Let's read off a little bit more about what we know, courtesy of Gizmodo here. They write, Microsoft's Xbox chief, Phil Spencer, confirmed the Xbox Series X works in either a vertical or horizontal orientation, so no need to buy a new TV stand just yet, and he promised it will deliver 4 times the processing power of Xbox One X in the most quiet and efficient way. An official Microsoft announcement went into a bit more detail about the console's hardware. The Xbox Series X will support 60 FPS, 4K, and 8K visuals with a possibility of up to 120 FPS. It also boasts a next-generation SSD that Microsoft claims will virtually eliminate load times. Spencer held off on confirming any other specs or a price point for the Xbox Series X on stage, although he did hint in a recent GameSpot interview that this new console has over 8 times the GPU power of the Xbox One and 2 times what an Xbox One X has. This echoes previous reports that Project Scarlet aims to deliver 12 teraflops of computing power. Per these reports, Xbox Series X will feature an 8-core CPU with clock speeds of around 3.5 gigahertz and 13 gigabytes of RAM reserved for games, 3 gigabytes for OS. It will also support ray tracing and backward compatibility with current Xbox One games and Microsoft's library of older backward compatible Xbox games. We've got it up on screen here, what it looks like. Let's actually, I'm going to pause that for you guys a little bit there. Let me rewind it so you guys can see it a little better. I'm going to pause it right when we get the forward-facing view and put it up full screen here. All right, so this is Xbox Series X. What do you think of the? Let's talk about how it looks first.
How it looks for me is I don't mind it in a way. It's smaller than the Xbox One X. It's smaller than the PS4
certain
Pro.
dimensions. Yes.
In certain dimensions, height. I'm sorry, in height dimensions, it is smaller than both the previous console I just mentioned. Width, it's actually just as long as the PS4 Pro, I believe. I think it's that long a little bit, or it's a little bit less than. Mm-hmm. But I'm kind of amazed by it in a way. I mean,
so as far as I understand, it is a perfect square.
In its
base, it is a 6x6 inch square raised up about 12 inches. There's a pretty good comparison that IGN put out today that shows it with other consoles as well. It does look like a PC tower to a certain extent, but a small PC tower. They're going for the home hub view, type, whether it be Google Home or Amazon Echo or whatever. That seems to be what they're going for, something that's going to blend into your entertainment center pretty well. The problem is that if you are treating it vertically, which seems to be the intention without a doubt, because laying this thing on its side is going to look pretty goofy, this won't work for some people. It can't. It won't work in certain entertainment centers. Maybe you have a TV that's mounted above a mantle and you don't have any space to the left or right of that, and your TV is only 6 inches above your mantle. So this is going to stick up and block your TV if you don't lay it horizontally. So this is the kind of thing that I see some people talking about, that they don't like how it looks horizontally and it won't really work for them vertically. And I understand that. I actually do understand that. Yep. I wish that they would have put a little more thought into how this is going to look horizontally, because just do it. Just turn it on its side. It doesn't look very attractive on its side.
The issue that I have with the design, the big issue I have with it, is this is actually done from a heating standpoint. That was one thing that Phil talked about, was that the idea is that all that heat that this console is going to pretty much have is going to be pretty much forced out of the top of the console and like a little bit more in the back. So the horizontal stuff makes sense because, heat, it goes up. Heat is higher, it's lower density or whatever airwise, so it wants to go up, whereas cold stays down lower. The other issue that I have with it is the green light on the grill. I'm not sure why it's needed. I don't get it.
Do you think it'll be RGB where you can change the color?
I hope not. I mean, maybe. I don't understand it. The other issue that I had with it was, honestly, the only really big issue I have with the brand, I guess, is the name. I do not like the name.
Yeah, let's talk about the name. I strongly dislike it. It abbreviates to Xbox SX, and I had to slow down there so I could say it without stumbling over my words, because Xbox SX, like it doesn't flow off the tongue, and people are already making the jokes Xbox Sex, and it's I think Xbox X Series sounds better than Xbox Series X, for one. I think Xbox Series X could, and I don't know for sure. For sure this is going to be an issue, but it echoes the problems that Wii U had in branding. Like I'm a little not concerned because it's not really my problem. It's Xbox's problem, but like, do you think there's a potential that there are going to be more casual consumers that look at this and think it's just another Xbox One X, another Xbox One?
That's the issue that I had, and I was actually making fun of it today a little bit at work in the sense of the name. I was like, hi Johnny, what do you want for Christmas this year, bud? Mom, I want the new Xbox. Okay, Mom goes to GameStop. GameStop has that intern that has no idea what the hell's going on. They're just doing their thing. Yeah, I'd like to get a new Xbox. Well, which one do you want? Do you want the Xbox One S? Do you want the Xbox One X? Do you want the Xbox Series X, or do you want the Xbox Series S?
Right, because it's probably going to be called something like, right? It's probably going to be Xbox Series S for the Lockhart, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, because that is still a factor that we need to discuss. And
it's not very. The thing here was the thing. They could have kept Series. They could have done Xbox Series 2. That's what they could have done for this being the thing. And then they could have called the budget option, the Lockhart, Xbox Series R. Guess what? You now have two different complete IDs for these two consoles, to where it's not going to be confused with the consumer base. I mean, people are trying to sit there and say, like, this is going to be confusing for anyone. I was like, yeah, okay. Have you not seen the general consumer? They have no idea.
Yeah. I do think there is potential there. I don't think it's as bad as Wii U was in confusion that could set in, but it's a possibility, legitimate possibility that they could have some problems here as far as educating the consumer on what this is exactly. So the specs seem really great, right?
Let's talk about that real quick. So the 12 teraflops for the GPU is actually great.
Right. That's great.
Phenomenal. That's a little bit of a thing that's going on in the next gen thread right now. People are talking about, well, wait a minute, are they talking about 12 teraflops of the RDNA? Navi teraflops. That's
what we're hearing, right? RDNA.
Yeah, we're hearing RDNA 2 now. So everyone's freaking out now, going, wait a minute, they now have next gen RDNA. And it was like, everyone hold up a little bit. We have no idea. But the other thing too is going to the inside. All the insiders are kind of flip flopping a little bit on where that stuff's going. Yeah. The thing that I have an issue is the 12 teraflops is awesome. You need it now for 4K 60. You need it. That's we're punching way above the weight there, which is great. It's on par with a 2080 RTX, which is, I'm ecstatic. Mm-hmm. The CPU, 8-core CPU clock speeds of around 3.5 gigahertz, I was like, I don't see that really being a thing. Why
do you say that?
It's one of those things of we're going from consoles that were 1.8 and everything like that. So 3.5 gigahertz, it was I just feel like it's going to run hot. That's my
Yeah,
issue.
but that was one of the big complaints last generation was the CPU. So it would make sense that we would get a pretty major jump there, right?
Well, we were going to an 8-core, 8-thread, but we had cores disabled and everything like that. It's one of those things of like, if you're doing about an APU design, the GPU and the CPU are pretty much together. So like that's the issue. Is like, so if this is going to be running at 3.5 gigahertz, it's like, yeah, the speed's great there. It's again, like now the real big concern there is heat. Like,
Okay.
and that's where I'm saying, like, I think we're not going to see 3.5 unless like you're really pushing the system. And that's why I think they say with the clock speeds around 3.5. I actually think it's going to be like around 3.2, 3.3, more stable
Okay.
speeds. You know what I'm saying? To where, yeah, the console's going to have the ability to maybe push that a little bit more in case of stress positions, but that's whenever you're going to see that. That's It's not going to be like 3.5. That's the base. I don't think that's the case. It's going to be, it can go up to that for demanding situations.
Sure.
Yeah.
What do you think about the RAM? I'm hearing a lot of people thinking like that's not a major jump in RAM. Now, the thing to keep in mind is it is DDR6, 16 gigabytes total.
Yeah, so we're actually going up a step of RAM. So we're actually going from GDR5 to GDR6.
Yeah.
And 13 gigs. Here's the thing from a game development standpoint. PC gaming doesn't even go past most 8 gigs at this point. 16 gigs, if you're doing it right now, it helps you out a little bit in terms of frame data, frame loading and reference loading based on the SSD. But most games don't design around behind it. They design around the baseline of 8 gigabytes. So the fact that games are going to have 13 gigabytes to play with, and mind you, on consoles, this whole RAM configuration is much more in tune with the hardware. It's not this RAM isn't being multi-purposed on everything on a computer. This is literally like, this is what you're doing. You have 3 gigabytes for the OS. Everything else here, this is for your game. There's nothing there. It's a big deal. It's a big jump. And it's in combination with the SSD speeds, especially with a 1 gigabyte SSD
Exactly.
speed.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up as well.
You're talking about we talked about this a long time ago, back when we first were talking about specs about these things, or what was leaked is the information that can pass now in between to be. It's it just the bandwidth especially is like where like that's the big upgrade there. And so yeah, RAM's also expensive at this point too. The smartphone industry is what's killing that a little bit. Just because of the demand there. But it's some
people might be wondering like, why are we even talking about this? Because we've seen what the games look like now. We know it's amazing. What does this even matter? Who cares what the specs are if we know what it looks like? And the reason they're saying that is because we had a demonstration of what an Xbox Series X game will look like from an exclusive first-party studio, Ninja Theory, working on Senua's Saga, I think it's what it's called, right? Hellblade 2. So this was an amazing, amazing trailer for so many reasons. The music being a big part of it, I think. It's just so fantastic. But let's put this up full screen because it really is remarkable. The facial animation we're seeing here is closer to hyperrealism than I think a lot of people were expecting. And rightfully so, maybe. Here's what I have to say on this, Vince. And I've talked about this a little bit pre-show with you to give you a little heads up. Yep. I'm not saying this isn't possible considering the specs. I don't think we will see Hellblade 2 look like this. Not because it's not possible, but this was a very directed thing they did here. This game is 2-3 years out from a studio that's working on another game right now that was just purchased by Microsoft. They were working on this prior to being acquired, but that was before they knew what they had with Scarlet, before they were first party. Like this is a long ways away, this game. I would bet that it's late 2021, probably 2022 before we get this game. This was them saying, we're going to show off something that is going to blow minds as far as the potential of Xbox Series X is, even if we're not going to achieve this directly in the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a very focused demonstration of motion capture. We're going to set up a crazy experience where our actress is doing so many contortions of her face, and it's all going to show every wrinkle and distortion in her face during this demonstration. And since they were so focused on delivering that thing, yeah, okay. When that's like your entire focus and you're making a trailer that's specifically meant to blow minds as far as graphical prowess goes, and it's all about focusing this close to the face, you're 10 inches away, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to get something that looks that beautiful. You're not going to get that in the game. That's not what it's going to be 99% of the time.
No, and let me take the reins here a little bit. Yeah, so you're right with that aspect there, but the fidelity that can happen now with cutscenes, that actually can happen now. And here's the other thing too. I don't know if you can actually rewind the video so we can actually kind of see that trailer again one more time. The really cool thing is, and this is one thing that always throws people off, and we've kind of learned it from Naughty Dog, we've learned it from other games, is in engine. The entire trailer was caught in engine, was captured in engine by a whatever console.
In engine, yes.
In engine,
not gameplay.
This is showing off the capabilities of what the system can do, which is always a great benchmark of seeing what we might potentially have there. And the crazy thing is, I've watched this 4K trailer about 90 some odd times. I told Drew this multiple times there, and it was the thing is like you can clearly tell moments where it's like that can be gameplay. That's not going to be gameplay. And I can tell you right now, in that trailer, the close-up of the muddied ground with the skulls and bones, that is CG. That is not gameplay. However, the overview cam of the village, that's gameplay. Reason why? Look at the way the lighting looks in that scene in comparison to texture and everything like that, and it looks gamey. It looks like that. Whereas you go into that very close detailed look up, you can definitely tell because of the amount of detail that is put into the textures, into the things, into the water, into the puddles, into the mud. It's too much. It's too much detail there. And that's
the game's going to be a looker. Don't get me wrong. It's because Senua's Sacrifice is a looker. It's just not going to be to that fidelity is what I'm saying. And I don't think we should expect that. And I think people that are doing this already starting console war between a game that we're going to talk about later being a PS5 exclusive and this one, I think that we are way, 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 way too early to be doing that because Deep Down, as brought in the chat, is a great example of PS4 doing this. Deep Down looks so much better than that game was ever going to look. Another one, in all honesty, that is a good example, similar to what Hellblade's doing here, is Uncharted 4. And the reveal of when Nate was on the shore on the beach and stood up. No, it was an engine. It was, it's an engine, but the game's not going to look like that. And it didn't. Not gonna look like that. It didn't look like that. That's what's happening here. We're seeing an in-engine demonstration of what this game could look like. Is it going to look like that? No, it's not. No. It's not going to look like that.
No. Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think we're going to see the general detail on her model. We're going to see that. That's going to be the actual fidelity that we're going to see there. Yeah. But we're not going to see the environmental complexity that they kind of showed off with a lot of the textures of the puddles and everything like that. We're just not seeing that. But like, I mean, the other thing too is Killzone Shadowfall was actually a great example of this too, because that was actually a game that came out and it looked exactly the same as the reveal. So you do never know what can be possible. It's just, I agree with you. I think this is a little
that was an actual gameplay presentation though. Like literally that was a gameplay presentation. Yeah.
So, but
not like Uncharted where it was a directed visual scene from the game. You know, like this is the same way. This Hellblade trailer was a very targeted thing they were trying to do. And I think it's very effective. It did its job because everybody's like, holy shit, did you see what Xbox Series X looks like? Oh my God, next gen is here. Like, yeah, it's exciting. I know why they did it because when this game comes out in 2 or 3 years, we'll be too far past this to care about it. Yeah. So it doesn't matter.
I'm a little miffed that it's Xbox only now. That's you
can play it on your PC. That's what I'll do. I'll play it on my PC. I mean,
that's my only little fanboyism that I'll make comment there. Is it's like I was there day one Ninja Theory on PlayStation. Just remember me, damn it.
Remember me.
I got it. That's all.
I get you. It's a little disappointing. When they announced Ninja Theory acquired by Microsoft, there was a part of me that was like, okay, damn. Would have liked for them to stay third party. But, you know, it is what it is. These things happen. I'm sure we'll have a PlayStation acquisition pretty soon where people are going to be like, damn it, on the Xbox side.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It is what it is. Let's go over to Lockhart a little bit here because this is interesting. Yes. Very interesting. Windows Central writes, in the 2019 reveal video, Xbox Cloud architect Kareem Chowdhury said Scarlett could eat monsters for breakfast. And indeed, Anaconda looks as though it will be able to, according to several sources. And this goes through what we just heard. And it matches up, actually, with what we're hearing as far as information post Xbox Series X reveal. With the 12 teraflops and all that good stuff. So hopefully this is all true. But Lockhart, conversely, they're saying that will sport around 4 teraflops. And according to marketing materials we've seen previously, it is being positioned as the most affordable entry point to next-gen experiences. Both Lockhart and Anaconda will sport the 8-core CPU with 3.5 gigahertz, and Anaconda reaching a bit higher per core than Lockhart. The relatively modest increase in clock speed over the previous gen systems may seem mild, but vast improvements to caching, new silicon architecture, and other general bespoke proprietary optimizations will see Anaconda perform so anywhere from 4 to 5 times. So we don't really talk about that because this is now after that.
After that.
And they're going to have the same SSD and all that. But the thing that a lot of people are focusing on is the 4 teraflops.
The 4 teraflops, yes.
Right?
And it is a concern. However, what that's going to really just pretty much generally power there, and this is something that I kind of wrestled with a little bit. I'm going to say it right now in chat, I absolutely freaking hate the idea of Lockhart. I absolutely hate it. I despise it. I despise every single thing about it.
I do too.
But
I hate it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's not going to be as bad as we kind of envision it to be.
No, it's not going to be awful, but it's still a detriment no matter what.
It's a detriment because of I'm losing my
It lowers the baseline. No matter which way you want to put it, it lowers the baseline. And it forces scaling upon everybody. And I know that, PC is in mind from the very beginning now and scaling. I know. I get it. I know. But it doesn't matter. When you have to consider that low of a baseline from the very beginning, you do change your methodology. You do. No matter what, you are keeping that in mind in some way, shape, or form, and you are compromising some vision, potentially. Not everybody, but there are going to be developers that have to compromise even one aspect of their vision. I don't care what it is. The fact that they have to compromise any aspect of their vision because of this Lockhart is annoying to me.
Yes. Yeah, it's annoying to me. I don't understand why we are chasing the budget people. I don't know why we're following the cell phone market for everything here. The cell phone market doesn't work the cell phone model does not work for everything. So we don't need a budget console. Your budget console was a streaming Xbox stick for xCloud. That was your budget console. That was your $99 stick that connected to an Xbox controller, and there you go. You streamed everything in Game Pass and xCloud. So it's one of those things of as long if the scalability is there to be not detrimental for developers, then great. That's, I guess, cool, awesome, whatever. But at the same time, third parties, guess what? It's all gone now. That baseline, that lower baseline now, that is the baseline for third parties. Yeah. Exclusive.
And you can hear third parties already echoing that sentiment.
Yeah. And everyone's trying to use Gears 5 as this whole holy grail thing of well, look, this is what dev team can do. It's it's a dev team that only made Gears 5 for PC and Xbox. They were allowed to do whatever they want to do because they had to focus on these things. It's not going to be I'm sorry, what about Ubisoft? Or I'm sorry, what about Red Dead 3 or GTA 6? Next thing you know, GTA 6 now has to factor in this Lockhart system in its overall AI design, world design, and everything like that. So Rockstar's going to have the money to do all the iterative testing they need for all the versions, right? We've seen that with the PC version. We've seen how Red Dead 2 looks on PC. We've seen how GTA 5 looks on PC a year and a half after they release on consoles, So it's just...
Yeah. Here's the thing that's annoying and also positive at the same time, though. You're ignoring the effect it could have on development. It's great that it will allow more people to get into the next generation. That's great. It's annoying to me, to a certain extent, that it could work really well for Microsoft. Because it's working well for them from a business perspective at the sacrifice and detriment of the next generation as a whole.
Yep.
And the fact that it brings in new people or brings in people that wouldn't be in the next generation that quickly, it doesn't offset that enough for me, because I can't help but ask, why do you need it that early then? If you can't spend the extra $100 or $200, then wait. That's honestly not that much money in the grand scheme of your gaming hobby. That's the equivalent of 2 or 3 games, full price games. If that's really what's going to determine for you if you're going to get a lower powered console and a much stronger console, then I say to you, like, don't mess it up for the rest of us.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, I can't help but say that. Like, I wish you could be there day one, like the rest of us. But why should I have to suffer for you? No. I don't want to suffer because you want to get there day one for $200 less. No.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, I'm struggling with it too, to be honest. I've been struggling with the idea of Lockhart. And like, part of me is like what you're saying. Like, yeah, I want more people to be there. I want people to be part of the community of gaming and taking part of all these experiences. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to deal with your lower baseline. We've seen that happen. Like, I don't want to deal with it. Like, we've seen what's happened with developers having to scale back their vision or being too ambitious and then going, oh, this game didn't perform well. And then everyone overreacts. And then that said game never gets a sequel because it wasn't 30 frames. It was 24 frames. You know, it's just, it sucks. It sucks in either way. It's kind of funny. I would like to hear a little bit on X1 Bros' kind of standpoint on that.
Yeah,
whole thing
it would be
well.
interesting, right?
It would
They're
be interesting.
So different than us usually.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure he's very excited.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's excited for the whole series itself. I'm wondering if he's got the same feelings as we have on like a Lockhart system. Like, does he agree with us on that type of? Do they agree with us like on that whole type of deal?
I think he would see the positives without a doubt, as we do. We see the
Right.
positive, but I think at the same time he might not admit it. But I bet you, considering he does have the means to get the Series X day one, I would be surprised if internally, even if he doesn't want to say it, he isn't a little bit
Miffed.
peeved, a little bit
Yeah.
miffed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think some of us don't want to admit it, but I'll be the one. I'll be the one to say it. You know, come on, guys, don't mess it up for the rest of us.
It's going to depend on the price point.
Yeah.
If that $250 price point is actually what the leaked one, the rumored leaked one is, then I'm going to be even a little bit more annoyed because, yeah, that's going to take off like stupidity. But like, if it's like Series X is $499 and Series S is $350, I'm going to be like, why?
I think what especially annoys me is if it works really well, Sony will probably be forced to follow suit.
Probably.
And they'll release a depowered console for the next generation. Because I would think that this Lockhart is actually not going to come out day and date with Series X. It's probably going to come out in the year after.
Well, like, that's my thing. If it comes out date and date, then we're screwed.
yeah, definitely screwed. It better not do that.
We're screwed.
I think it'll come out the year after.
If it's a year after, then there's some hope there.
Yeah.
But if it's day and date, then I'm going to I don't know. I'll figure out something.
Just swallow it, man. You're just gonna have to.
To somehow make the entire distribution network for all that stuff just stop and they never get sold and we'll all be fine.
Going to Hooded Reaper, yeah, I think they do just combine them because it's going to be Series X and Series S, and it's the same ecosystem. It's like it's the next gen Xbox. It's the Scarlet, as they called it. The Scarlet is a team of consoles, right. And they will be joined together in sales, I would imagine. Yeah. But moving on from that, let's get over to the PlayStation side of things because they did have a state of play this week, and there was some pretty cool stuff.
There was some really awesome, cool things there.
Let's start off with the lower tier stuff. I'm actually going to save the bigger tier stuff for last. Let's start off with on screen right now. We got Babylon's Fall first gameplay footage from Square Enix and Platinum. What'd you think? What do you think of our first look at Babylon's Fall here?
I liked it, but what's weird to me is internally in my mind, I was going, I've been hearing a lot about this game, and this is it. Like,
I agree. I was a little bit surprised from a fidelity standpoint, visual fidelity, that it didn't look more attractive.
Yeah,
I don't know. Considering how long it's been since it was revealed, and this being the first showing of it ever, I was kind of expecting a little more. It looks like a lot of fun, though. From a gameplay perspective, looks great.
With this whole like the last 4 characters being there, I wonder if that's like kind of hinting that this might have co-op in it. And I'm like, what? But
maybe, yeah.
I don't know. It looks cool. I mean, a action game from Platinum is always going to be ace in my book, no matter what.
Without a doubt.
Again, it was just weird to me. Like, I've heard so much about this game that when I showed it to a coworker, he was like, really? This is what people are freaking out about? And I was like, I guess. Like, like, it was just weird. But I liked it.
Yeah. It looks like it could be great from a gameplay perspective. I don't think this is going to be the type of game that blows minds as far as its visuals go.
It's not going to be another Nier, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. Nier Automata, no, I don't think so. Not to that extent. Dreams Will Steal Your Heart on February 14th, 2020. Leaked before. One thing I don't think we did know was the price. It's actually only going to be $10 more than the early access. It's going to be $40 for Dreams. It's a steal, man. That game, endless content, a lot of cool things coming. So really fun to create. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. If we bought early access, we actually have the game, right?
Yep, you have it. It's yours.
Oh, cool, awesome. Yep. That's why I couldn't remember if they were sitting there going, "You have to spend $40 now on that." I was kind of confused a little bit.
Yeah, it's ours. It's pretty cool.
Awesome.
Predator Hunting Grounds is launching on April 24th, 2020. We've had our first real gameplay look at it. Looks pretty cool, actually.
I actually talked a little bit about Mike this. I was actually going to say, to be honest, the thing about that was first revealed, the E3, like right before E3 State of Play that they did, or the one right after that?
Yeah, I think so. Right.
And I was like, they've shown this off 3 times, and like this game looks pretty good now, like from a visual standpoint. It looks
improved
really
a lot.
Rough,
yeah.
And now it's looked really good. And I was like, I love Friday the 13th. So I actually have some really, what's the word? Confidence in the devs here. And the fact that they're going to have NPCs in there along with the actual player versus player mechanic, I was like, this could actually be fun. I love asymmetric titles, so I could also have a little bit more of a bias point there. But,
yeah, it's not really for me, I will admit.
Right,
but...
no, I know that. It's just, for me, I was like, I'm into it. Are you kidding me? I'm down for this. This is like Spies versus Mercenaries from Splinter Cell. I'm so in,
Yeah. Crisis Cow, welcome to the show, using his AP to redeem that message. He says he's primarily a PlayStation gamer, but the reveal of the Series X has me stoked, plus all the awesome specs. I may be switching next year. Yeah, we'll have to see what PlayStation has to offer. We got to see. They might say the same exact thing. We keep hearing that they're very similar. They might come out and be like, yeah, we're 12 teraflops as well. Pretty much the exact same thing. We'll have to wait and see. I'm excited to find out the comparisons. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a tiny bit weaker, though, on the PlayStation side.
I've said that. I think I called that, too. I was like, it doesn't matter. Going here, though, the Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind.
So the DLC that's adding a lot. I mean, we're getting Final Fantasy characters finally. Like, what the hell? They couldn't have put this in the main game. It's even Final Fantasy for the DLC. But they also have some pretty cool little hints at what's to come. There is that secret video at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and one of the characters from that secret video was used in this trailer here. He actually says the same line that Sora said in the very first Kingdom Hearts game at the beginning, like, how do I know this is real or not, or whatever that line is. So yeah, some cool little touches in there, and playing as Kairi, and they're adding the things that people wanted in the main game. Like, what the hell, man? You had to save it for the DLC, of course.
Well, they've always done that. The final mixes that Kingdom Hearts have always been the better game.
Those are the definitive versions of the games. Yeah, but I'm glad there is one at least. So that looks pretty cool. Untitled Goose Game is coming to PlayStation 4 on December 17th.
That's gonna be fun. Honk.
Spellbreak enchants PS4 in early 2020. I don't know. It didn't really grab my attention that much, Spellbreak.
Probably not. Yeah, I was like, whatevs.
One that I still think looks pretty cool, and I saw it originally at Kind of Funny Game Showcase this year, is Superliminal. Yes. And it's now coming to PS4 as well. Really cool perception bending game where, depending on your distance from certain things, it could change how you look at it, its size in relation to you, and things like that. It's a pretty cool looking game. I don't think I have the trailer added in this B-roll here, so check it out yourself. But that one looks pretty freaking neat.
Yeah, I do remember when we saw that at E3, and we were. I mean, I was in the chat and you were doing more of the reaction there, but it was like we were all like, "What is this game?"
Yeah,
it was so cool.
Paper Beast, explore a dreamlike ecosystem that is PlayStation VR. Always good to see more PSVR stuff being supported, although we got some sad news for PSVR fans later on in the show. And here's Predator up on screen right now. Let me put it up full screen so we can check out the visuals
so
now.
Bloody.
Choose your class and armor.
Yeah.
He's got that's a pretty cool character design there. I like it. Definitely a major improvement over that first.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. If you go back and watch that first one and you watch this one, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this is like a whole different game at this point. There's some good visual fidelity here.
Well, they do have Sony backing it to a certain extent. Yeah, so not too much of a surprise there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's good. I want it to be, because, Alien and Predator have not really gotten their due too much in gaming. I know Isolation came close. Not for me. It came close. I think you like it more than I do.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but yeah, no, we'll see. Hopefully the Switch version sells so well for Isolation that Sega kind of goes back to it. I'm hoping.
Yeah, right? That'd be crazy. Let's see. And I think that's all of the other ones. Let's get to the main one. Resident Evil 3 officially revealed. This is a real bummer that it leaked, right?
It is.
This would have been really cool.
It would have been cool if it would have been like a big secret, like
not even just because like I want things to stay secret, but the build up to it would have been really cool within State of Play. I really like the way they led into it by making you think you're looking at Project Resistance, and then oh wait, no, this is Resident Evil 3, and it includes Project Resistance. Like that was really neat.
That was really cool. I was really enjoying that. I was like, wow, they're really doing great here.
So it comes a lot earlier than I think anybody was expecting. April 3rd of 2020.
I can't believe the turnaround. I really
That's insane.
can't. But however, did you see the leak that happened after this?
I saw Imran saying that they were supposed to be combined into one game. I doubt it personally.
Well, I actually kind of see that being a thing because of how 2 is structured in a way. There's kind of a weird hook there that was like, oh, they could have totally done this in a way where it would have continued and it would have kept going. But I could see why they also said they ran into development issues, because if they're trying to do both of these styles, like they did the whole first person and everything like that, I mean, I can imagine. And that's the other thing too.
Here's what I think. Maybe this is somewhat cynical of me, but there's no way they leave that money on the table. There's just no way. They know like that they could sell both of these at full price and have people buy them. There's no way that they would leave all that money on the table.
I mean, who knows? Maybe there was this whole thing about what they could have probably done would have been a prologue to 3. And then it would have been like an immediate, 6 months after, something like that would have been like, here's 3. That's what they were probably going to try to do, to where like,
I'm going to go with, I doubt it.
I doubt it. Okay, fine.
Doubt it. That's me. We'll never know for sure. But
we'll never know. No.
So what do you think of Jill's redesign? She's not sporting the classic blue tube top, although there is a classic skin that you can get. But what do you think of her new design?
That's like what, her 7th redesign? Yeah. It's tradition at this point. I like it. I think it's good.
Carlos looks good. Huge improvement in my opinion for Carlos.
Yes.
He actually looks like he could be like a Brazilian mercenary now, as opposed to the original game. Jill looks like she's ready to take some shit on in this one.
Yeah.
She's not wearing a jean skirt and a tube top going clubbing.
Yeah.
I have to say, I think it's an improvement myself.
For sure. I mean, man, that re-engine though. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
That on next gen is going to be insane.
Yeah, I'll be getting this one, man. RE2 is one of my favorite games of this year. I think Sekiro did beat it for me, and we'll talk about why I'm happy about that in a moment. But again, we'll have to talk about some other things as well. But yeah, this is a looker, and I will be there day one. Hopefully,
I'll be there day one as well. I enjoyed my time with Resident Evil 2. Didn't hold it to the massive extent that everyone thought it was. I was like, it's a really well done title, but it was like, to me, it was never a game of the year title. I was like, it's a solid title, but it's nothing game of the year for me. But I'll be there because of Resident Evil 2. I'll be there for Resident Evil 3.
Hooded Reaper says probably reusing a lot of assets from RE2 Remake. Oh, without a doubt. Here's the thing I will say. As much as I don't think they would have released them simultaneously, they worked on them simultaneously.
Yes.
Without a doubt. They knew from the very beginning, we're doing RE2, RE3. They are in the same location, essentially. Like, we can just
keep going,
develop them both at the same time. Like, this is like a little alleyway off of this place you're at in RE2. Like, why would we not just complete it right now? Reuse the assets and complete it right now. Yeah, without a doubt. They knew what they were doing there, and they capitalized on it, and kudos to them, man. This is going to do so well for Capcom.
Not harder.
Yeah, exactly. So that was State of Play. Seemed like there was a lot of disappointment online for State of Play, but if we didn't get RE3 leaked, if we didn't get Kingdom Hearts 3 leaked, if we didn't get Dreams release date leaked, Ghost of Tsushima teaser leaked by people seeing that it was added to the playlist on PlayStation, because I didn't even add that in there. Ghost of Tsushima was teased for the Game Awards. This would have been a much stronger State of Play for a lot of people.
Yeah, I still think we would have disappointment because people don't like them.
Yeah. No matter what, there's always going to be some.
People are just trying to be negative about it. If it doesn't have some crazy mega announcement of like we bought 4 studios and we have these 7 exclusives in, people are still going to be disappointed no matter what they do.
Yeah. Oh, we got a sub coming in here from Donk. Donk Show coming in 21 months. Thank you so much, Donk. I appreciate it, man. Let's move on to another huge thing that happened this week. Let's talk about the Game Awards. So we're going to do announcements. Let's talk about all the things that got announced there. Some of them being just games that we already knew about being reshown, but we're going to kind of rapid fire through this. In the pre-show, we had Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, The Black Order gets Rise of the Phoenix DLC. I couldn't care less. I played the game for 3 hours, if that, and I don't know. I just don't care. But, you know, some of the characters look pretty cool to control, these new ones, like Phoenix and Gambit.
Yeah.
Some cool stuff there. So anybody who's still playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, I'm sure you're very happy that they're still supporting it. I will talk about and be happy about and excited about the new Final Fantasy VII remake trailer that showed a little bit of new footage for Cloud Strife. Here's what I will say above all else, because this rehashed a lot of footage that we've already seen. Here's what was great about this trailer. The music is, oh my God, mwah, it's just the best. The music is so damn good, man.
I just watched that today, actually, about an hour before the show, and I was like, all right, music's on point. And the other thing I loved, too, about that trailer was Cloud's little smirk there after he did, like,
that's
the
the
jump.
thing I was going to bring up as well, yep.
I was like, all right, I'm in. Like, I mean, I was already in, but I was like,
everybody is retweeting the gif of that smirk because that is the confirmation that they get Cloud.
Yep.
They understand who Cloud is to us.
Yep.
The people that played this game back in 1996, 1997, they get it. This is what we wanted to see. He's cocky. He's arrogant. He's goofy to a certain extent.
Yep.
Like, they get it. They get it. I love it. I'm so happy.
It just made it to where the game has just like, yep, I don't see any flaws in this. Like, it's going to be fun no matter how you slice and dice it. It's going to be awesome.
There's a cool little moment for a Facebook Insta game bringing us Salam in 2020. It had I'm trying to remember where he was from, but it's a very small title, but he was taking sort of his experience and experience of his ancestors in his country and really bringing it to this video game, the small little video game he's making. It was a nice little moment. After that, we had Xbox Series X and Hellblade, which we talked about. After that, Amplitude Studios announces Humankind for 2020. Looked like an Anno 1800 type game, kind of, right?
Right. It did.
Yeah. Pretty cool looking. Not bad.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch announced Bravely Default 2, which is interesting because they did Bravely Default, and then they did Bravely Second. So this is returning to the IP of Bravely Default. And I think it's the same team that works on Octopath, right?
Yes. I
that's
believe so. Yes.
I like the visual style of it. It looked pretty attractive. So
yeah,
something to keep an eye on. I never got to play Bravely Default myself.
I've not played it either. I had a friend who played it, said he enjoyed it, but he loves the old school RPG style games like that.
Yeah. Warframe Space Combat DLC Empyrean is available on PC now. Cool. Magic the Gathering announces Theros Beyond Death. There was a lot of Magic stuff that night.
I heard they spent a lot of money. I did not watch the Game Awards, by the way. I was actually down.
Are you against award shows?
I am, kind of, in a way.
Tell me why. Tell me why.
Tell you why. It depends. Like, for me, pacing is always a huge thing. And I just feel like it's so commercial about them that it just is kind of annoying. Okay. If that makes sense. It's nothing against people who produce the shows. It always aggravates me, or especially like this year, like I said before a long time ago, like there was a lot of games in this year that I was like, I'm okay with whoever wins here because I think there's a lot of games who deserve it this year. There's a couple categories I had issues with about like who they gave it to, and it was like, what are you talking about? Why are you giving it to this game? And that's what kind of it just aggravates me. So it's one of those things it aggravates me so much that I just kind of walk away from it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's just not against anyone who has the show, like who produces the show or anything like that. There's things that just aggravate me to that point where it's like I just need to walk away, read it in a text, and go, I agree with that, or I don't agree with that. But the reveals are always fun. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah, Rhoda Reaper says in the chat, you missed Green Day flipping the bird. Let me put the video up too.
Give a shit about Green Day.
Here's the thing about the Green Day thing. It was cool for about like 2 minutes, and then it was like, this is going on way too long for like another 5. I like musical performances during the Game Awards when they're focused on games. Yes. Like the opening with Death Stranding by Churches. That's awesome. It's from Death Stranding. Great. Like that makes sense. People come out that actually play music from the game, like that one year with Red Dead Redemption and things like that. That's great. That's fine. I want to hear music from the games. Like Green Day, like why are they even there? I don't care that much about that.
Yeah.
I'd rather see the people that make the music and compose the music and perform the music for the games be on stage. There you go.
Yep.
PlayerUnknown announces their next game, and it's called Prologue, and it was the shortest little teaser ever. I have no idea what's going on there, but it's still going to be Battle Royale. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. We got nothing to go on right now.
Yeah.
End Night Games announces Sons of the Forest. I haven't looked into this, but is this a sequel, prequel to The Forest?
It is a sequel to The Forest, I believe. Okay. And it's going to be creepy as shit, which is even more exciting because if you've never played The Forest, if you've never looked at The Forest, it is a very creepy game.
It is, yeah.
That I want to say is really good about that. It's going to be fun, I think. It's going to be interesting, I think, for sure.
Mm-hmm. League of Legends, announces first Riot Forge game with Ruined King. Okay. Cool. Dungeons and Dragons brings Hack and Slash Dark Alliance in 2020. That was a very poorly put together trailer, I must say.
I heard that.
I hated it.
I haven't seen that trailer yet, and he was like, "That was like one of the worst trailers I've ever seen in my life." And I was like, "Oh, you never say anything negative about trailers, so it must have been rough."
Yeah. Let's back up now, since it's on the screen. Godfall. So Godfall happened like right after Senua's Saga, and I do think it hurt them at Gearbox and also hurts the optics for PS5 to a certain extent, because this is the first official look we've had at a PS5 game. And I'm a little surprised that PlayStation allowed this kind of thing to be out of their control as far as the reveal of the first official PS5 game. Not because it looks bad. It looks good. It's so much so that I actually thought it was a CGI trailer. So it looks great. Does it look as good as Senua's Saga? It's a little bit apples and oranges. They're going for hyper-realism with Senua's Saga, and that's always going to be more impressive to a lot of people from a technical aspect than something that's more stylized. So I think it's not really a fair comparison, but I do think that most people are coming away from this looking at PlayStation 5 and being like, oh, it must be weaker because of the comparison between the two. And I think that's really dumb. But
and I don't think that's the case. No, I'm saying, like, and it's weird to me how people are trying to hook onto that, because it's like the trailer was 4K 60 frames. Let's back that up a bit.
Yeah.
It's 4K.
And ray tracing all over the place.
Frames. Ray tracing all over the place. And it's a launch title.
From third party.
From third party, from a brand new developer. Of 70 people.
Gearbox, and I don't look at Gearbox and the team that is working on this and think, oh yeah, these are the guys that do like incredibly impressive games from a visual fidelity standpoint. Like, no, I don't. So,
have you seen the GIF of Godfall though?
Yeah, the one of the combat.
Yeah,
it looks cool.
I mean, again, the fidelity behind that is like, I had a friend who saw it today. I showed him at work, and he was like, if that's the baseline for next gen systems, what are people bitching about?
Yeah. Like, this is the start.
Yeah. He was excited about that.
Yeah. I think it looks great. And in all honesty, it looks more feasible and realistic and what we should expect from the next generation.
Yeah.
In comparison to Hellblade 2, that I appreciate it to a certain extent over Hellblade 2. That just felt so much like a tech demo for what is possible but not realistic in the next generation, that I, in a way, prefer what was shown for Godfall, even though I'm more interested in Senua's Saga. Right. Because Godfall is like a third person or three team co-op looter slasher. It's not my style of game. It's not really what I'm looking for, but I do appreciate the approach of the reveal. And again, all in engine, according to what they're saying. And we actually have some gameplay footage now, too, on top of that.
So they have something to back it up, too.
Yeah, they have something to back it up. This was so weird. This is like a 5-minute trailer I've got on screen right now. This is for No More Heroes, The Return. Did you see this? Like how they duped people into thinking it was something completely different for like the first 3 minutes?
Nope, I did not see this.
It was like an old like 80s style Saturday morning cartoon. And then suddenly it's like, oh, wait, no, it's No More Heroes.
That's
like, what?
Strange.
Well,
crazy.
Here's the thing, as far as that, it's in Sony's control, but it's not in Sony's control because it's not Sony's game. It's not Sony's first party title that's being revealed. It's a third party relationship that they formed with Gearbox. It seems like a weird choice for them not to control the entire message. Like, right. Did they know it was going to come right after Senua's Saga? No, probably not. But if they revealed the first PS5 game at the PS5 meeting, then it's entirely in their control. The reveal of the first PS5 game is entirely in their control. Right. This was not in their control.
Right. And let's rewind this a little bit back. Let's go back to Godfall for a hot second here. So as Thunder's Quiet is pointing out in the chat, it is a PS5 exclusive, right? It is also a PC exclusive for a year, I think, if I remember right, for PC via Epic Games Store. So here's the thing, though. We now know that Epic Games paid money for this to be exclusive to their store. So
Yeah,
there you go. There's a part of the budget has now been solved there too. Sony is also now paying this as well for a backed up thing to be a console exclusive as well. And in the interview that was talked about today, their interview was very controlled. I'm sorry, not today, but yesterday, or I guess today, I forget. The interview was very controlled. However, the lead dev that was talking about it said that there was a lot of cool things about the SSD that allows them to do things that they were not going to be able to do there. Yeah. And they are moving forward to being a solid launch title. It's not a gas-titled game right now. There is no post-launch support for it. They're still in development. They're just going to make a good launch game. And that's all the game is going to be. And I just don't think everyone needs to be freaking out about this. It's going to be one of those games at the PS event that we're going to see. It's going to have a nice deep down. I guarantee you most of the opinions are going to change behind it. People are going to be like, oh, shit, this is actually a really solid title.
I think in general, they have another exclusive to add to their catalog. And on top of that, it's not something that had to take up their first-party team and the resources. It's a third-party title that they now have as an exclusive from a console standpoint. So, yeah, I mean, add it to the list.
And they could show off their DualShock 5 technology like crazy. The haptics, the resistant triggers. Like, think about it. You have a big heavy metal axe. All of a sudden, that R2 swing now is a little bit heavier because you got a heavier weapon.
They said explicitly, they said that there's something going on with how they're working with the controller. Like, this is a PlayStation 5 game because they're working with Sony to take advantage of all these things. So there must be something different that PlayStation is doing with their next console in comparison to Xbox from that standpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
So...
All right,
cool. Continue.
Moving on. Let's see here. We left off with Apex Legends did a little like Mirage live action thing during the show to show off the Holo Day Bash Winter event. It was well put together, but ultimately probably the most cringeworthy moment of the Game Awards. The comedy didn't land at all. It just it wasn't a good moment. It went on too long as well. Microsoft gives Ori and the Will of the Wisp a March 2020 release date. Yes, March is huge, man. March is so stacked.
Isn't that a little bit of a stealth delay for them?
Yeah, because it was February originally, right?
Yeah.
I thought so. I'm with you. A little bit of a stealth delay there.
I'm excited, though.
Even Jeff didn't seem to like us as a Reaper. Yeah, it did seem like a little... He's like, oh man, maybe this was a bad idea. He was like in the middle of it realizing this isn't going so well.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch has showed off Ghost of Tsushima, following up on their teaser from State of Play. Here's the thing that was disappointing about it to me. The best part of that reveal was the part that they zoomed out 1,000 feet on. Like, why'd you pull out like that, man? It looks so good.
I only saw the trailer. I saw the 4K trailer on YouTube after the fact.
Yeah.
So I heard that apparently with the at the Game Awards that the camera was pulled out, focusing on the live orchestra that was going on at the time.
Yep. That's exactly what happened during like the best gameplay moments.
Oh my God. I mean, you gotta say though, dude, if you've seen that trailer in 4K now.
I haven't seen it in 4K yet, but that game looked beautiful. God. Absolutely beautiful.
Like, there's a thing that people are saying that it's downgrade now. I was like, oh my God, are we doing the same?
My God, I don't think so.
Are we doing the same song and dance with Sucker Punch? The same thing that happened with them?
Not enough puddles?
People were like, well, no, with Second Son. Oh, these faces look downgrade, or these scenes look downgrade. And the game came out and people were like, oh shit, this is actually an upgrade. It was like.
Same with Spider-Man. Spider-Man was an upgrade as well.
It's just like, freaking, wait a minute. You just saw it from a stream via a stream. Like, wait a hot second. Like, if I went back and looked at the faces and I was like, there's no downgrade. If anything, the only thing that took a hit was shadow resolution, which is probably going to be upped a little bit because they're just probably still working in active development. Like, chill out.
Yeah, this game's still like a good 8-9 months away. I'm going to guess September of next year is when I think. Summer 2020, I think it's going to be early September. Speaking of, it's up on screen right now. Did you see the box art for this game?
I love it.
Oh my God, dude. Might be like top 3 box art of the generation.
So good.
It's amazing.
So freaking good. I mean, you know me. We talked about it all the time with The Witcher and everything like that. The fact that there's so much wind dynamic physics with all the cloth, the hair, the leaves, I am like literally, I'm freaking out. I'm like, this is exactly what I want to see in games. This is the world technology that I want to see. It adds so freaking much, and the sound design on this is so freaking on point. I just want it. I need it now. Can I please have it now?
This game went from sort of falling on my radar to now being one of my most anticipated of 2020.
I mean, just
with
look at
The
that.
Last of Us and 7 Remake.
Look at that. I mean, it's just like, oh my God.
Looks beautiful. It really does. Can't wait. I almost want to get the physical edition just for that box art. So good. Moving on from that, Oculus Quest getting VR beat 'em up called Path of the Warrior. Pretty cool. April 2020 release date revealed for Gears Tactics. It really looks like XCOM meets Gears.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty into that, to be honest. I was like, okay.
I could see people being into it without a doubt. Take that IP and that atmosphere and add it to XCOM's gameplay. I could see people jumping on. Yeah. Thank you so much for the second follow of the night. I know 88. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. And original Zova coming in with a sub, 5 months. We're up to 7 subs tonight, 2 follows. That's amazing. Awesome. We're only 3 subs away from our daily sub goal, and that of course results in a high points will spin. We also had 30 people in the room there for a moment. Thank you so much. That's what I do when we hit 30. Let's see if we get to 40, guys. Keep sharing that show. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, other Discord communities. Type in ! Share in the chat, ! Retweet. Get that around. We still got about an hour left in the show or more. Don't forget, we have after show as a possibility. $30 in tips activates entirely focused on the chat after show. $60 if we hit that goal. That results in a full hour of after show. And what's really cool during after show is that we activate media share so that just $1 in tip will allow you to share a video from YouTube live to the stream. That means music or video, whatever you want to show off, as long as it's appropriate. We will play it on the video screen and we'll enjoy it. And Uplian, welcome to the show. Good to have you here. Farcenter says, hope Sony can keep doing this whole big 3 games a year thing from their first party studios. Dreams, Last of Us, Ghost. I'd say 7 Remake is just as big. I know it's not first party, but I'd say 7 Remake is one of their biggest titles of 2020. Would you agree, Vince?
Oh, I would agree. Yeah. I mean, I honestly almost think that's what gave Naughty Dog some of the leverage to kind of be like, hey, let's pull our release back. And so I was like, all right, fine. We still have a March exclusive in a way, whereas I think doing The Last of Us so close to each other with Final Fantasy, I think it's going to work for them in the long term, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh my God, dude. I just can't wait.
I can't wait either, dude. I can't wait for a lot of things.
Let's see. A new tactical FPS 925 entering alpha in 2020.
That trailer was weird.
Yeah, I don't have much to say about it. It started off with another dupe. It was weird.
Yeah.
It was like a Fortnite jab almost in a way.
Yeah.
With these bunnies doing like Fortnite dances, and it's like, what the fuck? And then it went into 9 to 5. I was like, I don't really know what you're trying to say right now, but okay. Amazon Game Studios announced a new game called New World. It's going to launch in May of 2020, and it looked pretty cool actually. I liked it.
It's a survival MMO. It's I think one of the only few Amazon Game Studios that has survived from its original announcement.
Yeah.
I do know the alpha was rough. However, I know you can purchase it on Steam now, and you can get into the closed beta for it. And there's a lot riding on it, I think, from what I understand. It's going to be the kind of gauge for Amazon to keep pushing with game development, I guess.
Okay. Dishonored and Prey co-directors announced Wolf Eye Studios' Weird West. To be honest, I wasn't really focusing too much on the stream when this was being played, and we were having a conversation at that point. I think it was about Joe Rogan, actually. We were getting into Joe Rogan discussion about how I don't really like a lot of what Joe Rogan has to say, but I do find him humorous. So that kind of took over, and I didn't really focus on this one.
The art style for this, I didn't quite care for Weird West.
Yeah,
it was one of those like I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like the game, but the art style is like early Borderlands-y looking. Like it's very
hard, I get what you're saying there.
Very hard cell shading lines, and I'm like, no. Ooh. Like pull that back a little bit. Yeah, but yeah.
Another League of Legends announcement. Riot Forge announced a second story called Convergence within it. Okay. Cool. Elder Scrolls Online gets a reveal event in January 2020. We'll have to wait and see what that's all about. Warner Bros. Announces The Wolf Among Us 2 revived.
I cannot wait.
Brought back from the ashes.
God, thank God.
Like Phoenix itself. Yeah, dude, come on. I'm so excited. I'm so freaking
what's
excited.
Funny is I actually played that, I think, only at the start of the year, right before I started streaming. And
Okay.
I was like, it was one of those, like, I think we got it free from Plus. And I was like, I haven't played it. I'm gonna play it. And I was hooked from like the first episode. I was like, where have I been? Why have I not played this? Why didn't I not buy this day one? What have I done with my life?
Yeah. It's one of my favorite from Telltale. Yeah. And this was what was really weird to me. Yeah. They closed on Vin Diesel and Michelle Rodriguez coming out to announce Fast and Furious Crossroads. This game looked like, I mean, memory might not serve me correctly, but it honestly looked like a last-gen title to me.
Yeah, and I don't use that term very lightly. Anyone who knows me knows I do not like that term. I really avoid trying to use it.
Now, granted, like the best of the best last-gen titles, like I'm talking like Uncharted, Last of Us, like, but still, it looked like something that was capable of being done on PS3 360.
Yeah, it does. Like, I mean, even from the character models, I was like, this is your cast, and this is what you've done to these Hollywood characters. Like, are you for real? Right
but more so, like, why are we closing
with this
on this? Like, this is the closer to the Game Awards?
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima would have been a better idea. Wolf Among Us would have been better than that. Xbox Series X. I get they probably wanted it at the beginning when more people were watching, but like, come on.
In reality, what they should have done is they should have announced Xbox Series X at the very start, right?
Yeah.
And then they should have closed it with either.
We got one more thing. Yeah.
Right? Can you imagine if Hellblade would have been the one that closed that show?
That would have been awesome. I agree. Yeah, I'm with you. I think that would have been a great choice.
Either that,
but I still understand why people do gradually dip off on such a long show, like 3.5 hours long, like the Game Awards. So, yeah, by that point, they know that the viewers dip, and they want to make sure. I'm sure Xbox was like, we got to get this as the second announcement of the night so that a lot of people are watching.
Yeah.
That was the Game Awards. You guys are voting and saying that Senua's Saga was the best reveal, although there was a vote for other as well. What about you, Vince? What excited you the most of the Game Awards announcements, trailers?
It's honestly a tie for me. There's a lot of games that really excited me. I'm going to say Ghost of Tsushima because it's going to be one of those games that I've actually been there day one when they announced, even with the original E3, people were like, it kind of looks whatever. I was like, nah, I'm here. I'm day one. I'm here. I'm like, I trust Sucker Punch. I want this game. I need this game. It's an aesthetic that I absolutely love. It's an art style that I absolutely love. But I'm not going to lie. Senua's Saga. Yeah. We talked about it in pre-show.
We both love that game. Yeah.
We both love. I mean, let's be real. Hellblade, I talked about a little bit on Discord, but Hellblade with its audio design and the mental illness focus on it is actually one of those cases where you can really go and say video games are art, and this is a literal piece of art. The way that game is done, it's for anyone who's not played Hellblade. Do it, play it.
Yeah.
It
didn't just surprise me from those aspects though. It surprised me from a combat perspective too. I really enjoyed the combat in that game. The boss battles in particular were really engaging and exciting for me.
The puzzles. I mean, really, to be true, honestly though, the audio design is what gets me every single time. I mean, that whole I can't ever say the word, the binaural audio, the whole whispering in your ear and actually being in your head.
That was crazy.
Oh my God, so freaking good.
Mm-hmm. Going back to the chat here, I do like Vin Diesel. I think he's really charismatic, and I did think it was humorous how he had to keep bending over even though he wasn't supposed to. But that was not enough for me to be like, yeah, this should close the Game Awards. No, not at all. And I have no nostalgia for Fast and Furious. I have never even seen any of those movies all the way through. So, did not work for me so much. But anyway, let's move on to the next story. And Vince, I'm going to let you take this one here, on story D.
All right, so this is even more exciting, guys. 2K announces new studio and a new Bioshock in development. What? Engadget writes, 2K Games has announced the formation of a new studio, Cloud Chamber, which will take the lead on a new title in the Bioshock series. Cloud Chamber has offices in California and Montreal, and will be headed up by 2K veteran Kelly Gilmore, who has previously worked on Civilization and XCOM. As well as Gilmore, Bioshock's veterans Hogue de la Plante, I'm close.
That's,
I guess,
pretty good.
Scott Sinclair and Jonathan Pelling are also involved. One name that isn't mentioned is the original creator, Kevin, is it Levine?
Levine, actually.
Levine, okay, I just want to make sure, I'm sorry. Who has moved on to work on a new title at Ghost Story Games and isn't likely to have any influence here. In an interview with Games Radar, Gilmore says that Bioshock's unique environments, from the underwater city of Rapture to the floating city of Columbia and back to Rapture, are incredibly important to the gameplay experience. She added there are plenty of creative directions to explore, which might hint at the team will find a new setting for the 4th title in the saga. Do you want to keep continuing, or do you want to?
No, let's start with that, I guess, first. So here's what I feel immediately. Awesome. Bioshock is amazing, and I've been waiting a long time for another entry in this franchise, and we've heard rumors for a while, which we'll get into in a moment, about there being a new Bioshock, and it just kept not happening. It's like, what's going on? Like, where is this thing? So yeah, awesome. I'm really excited. I'm glad that they're working on this franchise. I'm sad that Ken Levine isn't involved, but still, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt that they can do another great Bioshock game at 2K.
Right. What's weird to me is, especially, like, I was one who I didn't like Bioshock 1 to the extent that everyone else loved it. When people were like, this is the best thing ever, I was like,
I like Infinite more.
I'm with you. Infinite is an experience. Infinite is a phenomenal experience, in my opinion. Like, that is overall cohesive. Like, that is like the actual, like, this is what Bioshock was supposed to be, in a way, and there's you can argue for that. But what was surprising me for is how well Bioshock Infinite did. Why wasn't there a sequel? Like, the DLC came out, and then, like, we just
as well as it did. I think it actually didn't make a ton of money because
is that what happened?
Of the production budget on that game was really, really monstrous. Yeah.
I got you.
From what I've heard, yeah.
So it's one of those, the budget too high to where no matter how well it did.
Yeah, even though it did just fine, I think they had a little bit of development hell, long development process. Put a lot of money into it, didn't quite reach the expectations they had internally, I think.
Gotcha.
Kind of like a Tomb Raider Square Enix thing, where it's like, what did you expect for this game?
Right, like when they wanted the original Tomb Raider.
It sold like 6 million copies, and you guys are saying that's not enough. Like, what's going on here? Like, it's kind of like that, I think. Thank you so much for the follow coming in from the chat there. That one from XGC. Really appreciate that follow. Keep them coming, guys. Thank you so much. We got 37 people in the room. We're so close to hitting that 4-0. Keep sharing the show, everybody. Okay. But let's talk about the truth behind this that came out from Kotaku. Go ahead, Vince.
All right. So Kotaku writes, the truth is that Bioshock 4, codenamed Parkside, has existed for years, according to 4 people familiar with the project. Long before today's announcement that the new company called Cloud Chamber will develop the next Bioshock, 2K had contracted an outside studio to do it. In 2015, Parkside was entering development at Certain Affinity, the Austin, Texas-based studio best known for helping out huge shooters like Halo and Call of Duty. It is not clear why Certain Affinity's version of Parkside was canceled. We have heard very different variations of the story from different people, but by 2017, 2K had moved to Novato, California, where the publisher's corporate offices are based. In the coming months, 2K started quietly recruiting staff, including some of those who worked on Mafia 3 at Hangar 13 next door. That gives me even a little bit more confidence there, because Mafia 3, from a narrative standpoint, is a wonderful game.
I have heard that, yeah.
It's one of those, like, how everyone likes to complain about Assassin's Creed being the main repetitive game? Mm-hmm. That is Mafia. Mafia 3 is, you do this, and you're doing this now for 25 hours. Mm. But the hook there is the voice acting and the story, because it's so well done.
Now, but does this give you any pause, though? Any concern, knowing that this team has shifted around a few times now, and they didn't have full confidence in it? And even though this game has been with this one specific team for a while, just now they're announcing their existence as working on the game. What do you think the reasoning behind that is? Why wait so long to officially announce Cloud Chamber as working on Bioshock?
So we don't run into a Bioshock Vita situation again.
Maybe.
And I think 2K has been pretty, with projects like this, they've done really well with making sure, like, it's announced and it's not too long of a wait for it to come out. I mean, even with Red Dead Redemption, it takes a year for, like, from that announcement for it to come out. I think is what happened. It was about a year or a year-ish. Mm-hmm. I'm not too worried with stuff moving through teams like that. It just means to me that there is a little bit of a concern there of, like, nah, we gotta get this right, in a way. If there was no care there, it would have been, we would green light it. I don't care. Just make sure it's in budget, and we'll sell it. It's Bioshock. It's a franchise. It'll make money.
I can't help but feel, though, that they're potentially bringing themselves to falling in the same trap they fell in last time, where they're spending so much on this and so much time on it that they're going to have a tough time recuperating on the production budget. Even if it does sell 6 million, 7 million, 8 million copies, is it going to be enough to be a success internally for them?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to depend, I think, on the scale of the project. Do we know how much? Like, that's the thing what sucks is, like, we don't know exactly what is the budget for this game, what is the expectations for the game, and we just have no idea what it is. Like, I mean, there was a good thread about it today that people were talking about. I think it was like Rapture is supposed to be based around, like, what, New Year's Eve, like the holiday New Year's Eve, and then Columbia is, of course, Independence Day, I believe. So it's like, what are they going to do with? And I think it's going to be the biggest challenge there is, where do you find that environment?
They really can do whatever they want, right?
Right.
Courtesy, or a spoiler for Bioshock Infinite, but courtesy of that game, it's now infinite possibilities.
Infinite possibilities.
So they really can do whatever the hell they want. I personally would like them to try and stick within the framework of Bioshock, a man, a city, and a lighthouse. But maybe do some cool twists on that. Surprise us, please, surprise us. But try and keep that framework, because that is what Bioshock is.
That's the soul of Bioshock.
That's the soul of Bioshock.
And that's the thing that's like, well, we've done underwater and we've done the sky. Does that mean we're going to do continent now? Like, it's one of those things of
space.
Like,
who knows?
Or, hey, next thing you know, what if you just start doing space though? Or what if you start doing dimensions?
Yeah, they could. I mean, they brought it in with Bioshock Infinite. It's there. They've got a lot of avenues they can take. I think the thing that they need to make sure is up to the quality of the originals is the writing. Ken Levine is a very great storyteller, and he's now sort of migrated over towards film, as far as I understand. Got to make sure that whoever has taken on that mantle is able to deliver on the expectations that has been set by Ken Levine.
What's funny is, I think we'll know by that first reveal. We'll have a gut feeling, I think.
Thank you so much to another follow coming in from Wolf Rex. Appreciate you. Moving on, let's get to another big story. MLB The Show is no longer exclusive to PlayStation.
What?
He is going multi-platform, and I'm not sure if it's going multi-platform in 2020 or 2021 because of the way MLB games are titled. It might be MLB 21, but come out in 2020. So I'm not sure on that. But Polygon writes, Sony Interactive Entertainment and Major League Baseball are extending their long-term deal to continue developing MLB The Show, the league's officially licensed simulation video game. But there's a very important twist to their deal now. MLB will no longer be PlayStation exclusive. The series is coming to other, as yet unconfirmed, console platforms. In a news release, Major League Baseball, the Major League Baseball Players Association, Sony Interactive Entertainment, and developer SIE San Diego Studio announced an unspecified multi-year extension of their long-standing partnership. They also confirmed that MLB The Show will appear on consoles beyond PlayStation platforms as early as 2021. So this does say 2021, and I assume that doesn't mean MLB 2021. Excuse me. While the league, its players association, and Sony didn't specify which non-PlayStation platforms would soon be home to MLB The Show, both the official Xbox and Nintendo of America Twitter accounts tweeted about the deal, hinting that future MLB The Show video games would come to these companies' platforms. It is unclear whether SIE San Diego would itself develop non-PlayStation versions of the game. I would assume so. So what's essentially happening here is a first-party PlayStation studio is developing games for other consoles.
And I don't think it's a sky is falling situation as
people
are trying to make it out to be. Like, there was a big, when they announced this, I remember being on the thread for that, and people were like, well, why should you buy a PS5 then? Does that mean Horizon's going to be on PC? Well, when Spider-Man going to come on PC? Like, that rhetoric came out real quick, and it was like, oh my God.
Yeah, jumping into conclusions very quickly.
Here's the great thing about them doing this, is I actually honestly think this is MLB actually strong-arming this a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
Because the thing is, too, and I need to do a little bit more research on it, but I believe RIB, the other baseball game that would come out on everyone else, was MLB's actual game. That wasn't the show. It was, they couldn't really officially say it was licensed by them or anything like that, but it was developed by, like, it was be contracted by them or anything like that. Whereas Sony actually had the rights to do MLB The Show,
Right.
The other big news is we saw this, and people are kind of like, I don't realize what's going on here. Is MLB The Show 2019 was Sony's biggest microtransaction earner from PSN. Nowhere else was anything else like this. It was Sony's game here was the biggest earner for them in microtransactions. So let's think about this then. Are you going to say you're going to pass up the opportunity to develop it for Xbox and Switch and say, okay, yeah, cool, but that Fortnite money, that same sort of thing like Fortnite money, give it to us. People are going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, this could easily double the user base for MLB The Show, and Sony's going to make bank off that. They're going to make a ton of money off of this. And this is the type of franchise that does make sense for Sony to make multi-platform. In the same way, Microsoft, when they acquired Mojang, wasn't like, yeah, we're going to keep Minecraft to Xbox. That would be the dumbest shit in the world. They would be just throwing away money at that point. This is a situation where it actually does make sense for them. It doesn't really, in my opinion, hurt the brand of PlayStation and like the exclusive nature of PlayStation, because I don't know, sports games to me, and this is a personal thing, like they've never represented that. Like it's sports games are the thing you expect to be on all platforms.
And here's the other thing too. What's it to say that now this game's going to be called PlayStation Presents MLB The Show on all platforms?
And don't forget, they're probably going to have to create a PlayStation account on other consoles to get in.
Oh wait, there's even more, kids. What's to say now that, oh, hey, well, for PlayStation Plus owners, cool, you guys get MLB The Show, whatever, because you're part of the PlayStation systems.
Yeah.
Oh, but if you want to buy an Xbox, give us $60 or $90 or $100.
There's a lot of things they could do here, yeah.
Or even with now, they can even do that for that now. Like this is a good move for them because this lets them test the gas model on other platforms. The same way if Microsoft would bring Minecraft over, the same way what they're doing right now with the Bedrock update. All that money now that you buy for skin packs and texture packs or anything like that, yeah, Sony gets a little bit of a cut, but the majority of it's going to Microsoft now at this point.
Now let me clarify: do I want a ton of other first-party games to appear on Xbox and Nintendo? No, I don't. What makes PlayStation so powerful are the exclusives and the brand and the, what would you call it? The identity of PlayStation as a part of that is through the exclusives. This is one series that, in my opinion, makes sense to do it with. Do I want all of Sony's games to appear on PC the same day as they appear on console? No. Do I think a 1-year exclusivity on PlayStation before it goes to PC might be a great idea? Yeah. I think honestly they should do that. I think bring Horizon Zero Dawn to PC, but give the PlayStation console 1-year exclusivity. That allows the best of both worlds. So yeah, this is fine. This is the one to do it with.
And the other thing too is we actually didn't even know that the deals on that one too. Great. They release it in, what is it, usually March when they come out? Okay, but everyone else doesn't get it till August. I mean, there could be a whole bunch of that stuff that we don't know from the agreement. This is just the announcement of that. So I think people are kind of going a little too far. And like the same thing with Horizon. Like if Horizon happens on PC, that just tells me that they're going to try to push Daisima as their indie. They're pushing for. Mike and I talked about this. That means they're going to start pushing Daisima as like their whole. If you want to make a game on PlayStation, we can give you this engine. This can be an education engine. Here you go. That's what they're doing. They're just doing that so that way they can get the iterative improvements on there. That's what I see them doing.
Times they are changing.
They are changing. They're changing
really fast.
Better, I think
crossplay being an example as well. I mean, this is going to be crossplay.
Yeah.
If PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo all playing together, MLB The Show, it's going to be huge.
And we got another game that got its update that we'll talk about later. But
yeah,
that's a big deal too.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a moment. But right now, let's finish off the level update. Take it away, Vince.
Rumor is Left 4 Dead 3 is coming, and it's VR only. Valve News Network leaked. Left 4 Dead VR is real. This tweet is being used as a source to claim that Left 4 Dead VR is coming. My words here are Left 4 Dead VR is real, not releasing. This is Valve. The word release isn't being used for a reason. More details on this project soon. Thanks for the patience. Here's the thing, and I talked about this to Mike, and mind you, I had to deal with Mike's anger on it, and I dealt with it. I'm just really concerned in the sense of the ways, like, I kind of don't understand this being VR. Like Half-Life Alyx, I kind of get, but with the gameplay perspective of what this is going to be, how are you going to do locomotion? How is this going to become a thing? Are we just going to be doing, like, it doesn't feel like this is going to actually be like a Left 4 Dead game. It's going to be something different. And that's the big concern that I have with it.
It just, I'm getting a little frustrated from an outsider looking in even. Like, I don't even care about Left 4 Dead. I don't have any plans to play this game. But, like, what? Why? Why? VR, fine, but exclusive to VR, I think is the question. Like, is it VR only? That doesn't make any sense to me at all on this specific project. I get Half-Life to an extent.
Right.
I do, especially considering it's not Half-Life 3. But this is a franchise, Left 4 Dead, that people have been wanting to come back for such a long time, similar to Half-Life. So to do it twice in a row, potentially, Half-Life, then Left 4 Dead, it just seems like they're shitting on their fans to an extent.
Well, what makes that even more frustrating for me is I was like, we don't even have current gen ports of their older titles. Like, do you like Portal 2? I get you guys update every day. I get you update Team Fortress 2 every day, but it's like at the same time, you still couldn't make a Portal 1, Portal 2 HD. Here you go. It's on PS4, Xbox One. You can't do that with Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 as like a thing. Like, it's just weird to me. It's like, why do we not have that on consoles? Like, and this is even better than what you guys were doing on the PS3 and 360 when you guys had to deal with the updates and had the issues with it. Like, Sony and Microsoft are gonna be like, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. Like, you can do the whole patching. It's just weird to me that we don't have any Valve games on current gen systems. It's weird to me.
Yeah, man. Very weird. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't think this is true.
To me, it's not going to be Left 4 Dead 3. It's going to be Left 4 Dead subtitle. It's going to be like that.
Yeah, but isn't that like, this is a franchise that doesn't really focus on like some continuing story, right? Like, this is a game you play with your buddies. Well, that's it. So to release Left 4 Dead VR is essentially releasing Left 4 Dead 3.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, because Left 4 Dead is going from point A to point B through all these things with 4 people using different like abilities and everything like that. That's like, it's essentially what the bedrock of Evolve was. Evolve kind of took that formula and made it into an arena. The thing is that like with locomotion always being an issue in VR, it's like, well, what do we do now? Like, you're not doing that. So that's why I'm saying that you're going to be doing more defend an area type deal. And that's just where to me is like, it's not going to be Left 4 Dead 3. It's going to be Left 4 Dead Still Alive or something like that,
Yeah.
Like, we'll see.
We will see. Let's do some wheel spins here. We did have a couple more subs come in, I believe. We did Donk Show and Farsender, actually. Farsender first. He was gifted a sub by Baz. Let's do that first. This one's for you, Farsendor. And we've got 35 XP to the entire room. After that, we had Donk. This one is for you, Tier 1, 21 months, giving you guys another 15 XP to the entire room. And then finally, we had Original Zova coming in, Tier 1, 5 months. Thank you so much for the support. That is another 50, the most you can get, 50 XP to the entire room. Way to go, room. I'm going to start a subscription gift giveaway as well. Let's do that right now. It can run while we go to commercial break here. So if you are not yet a sub, please, only if you are not yet a sub, you can type in !! sub gift in the chat. Get in on that raffle to run for 5 minutes, and if you win, I will gift you a sub so that you can become a member of the +1 posse. We'll let that run right now while we go to a short little break here. When we come back, we'll get into our trailer of the week and then the rapid fire news roundup. Hold on tight. Let's see. Who do we got? Enya Pline. Hold on tight. We'll be back in approximately 90 seconds. Welcome back, Level Uppers, to the Level Up Show, episode 286. Is a gaming dedicated talk show on now, starting every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We are moving it next week back to Sundays. Saturdays just weren't working out for me, in all honesty, so we're going to move it back. And I hope you guys are okay with that and hope we can keep our viewers around. We got 28 people in the room right now. Thank you for being here, everybody. We did hit 37 at one point, got really close to that big 4-0. Still a possibility. You never know. We always climb right before wrapping up for some reason. So keep sharing that show, guys, with ! Share in the chat, ! Retweet in the chat, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, other Discord communities, wherever you possibly can. Share that show around. Guitar Freak says, I suppose LBP4 could be a big announcement out of nowhere. Not by Media Molecule, right?
Right.
Like, no. Well, who was the one that did
Sumo
3? It was Sumo Digital, right?
Yeah, Sumo Digital.
I like 3, honestly.
3 was good.
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
It was fine.
Yeah, so I think Media Molecule is going to be working on Dreams for a very long time. That is going to be supported for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of thing that grows over time. It's not going to be this big thing from the very beginning, you know?
Yeah.
Forest Ender has redeemed an Ask Andrew. He says, do you think PS5 will have a V shape? I do, actually.
Yes.
I
It'll
do.
have a V shape.
I think it'll have a V somewhere in there. It's not going to be as pronounced as it is on the dev kit, but I do think it's going to integrate the V in some way. Yeah. I think that there is a chance that it is a tower-like design similar to Xbox. I wouldn't be surprised now that I see they went that direction. It just makes me think that PlayStation's going to do the same thing. But I think I will enjoy the PlayStation's version of it much more because I think they'll go with something a little bit more sleek and not so angular at the same time. I don't really like that. It's a little too simple for me. The Xbox Series
box.
X. It is literally a box.
Yeah.
It's just not, there's not enough going on for me. I would like a little bit more than that.
I think we're going to see a similar to PS4, but like not with like the stack design. What we're going to see is like just a very long box that's going to be thinnish, not finish as like in the, thin.
Yeah, I got you.
And that's where the V is going to incorporate, but the V is going to be very elongated out to allow maximum airflow to come through the sport, so that way it stays cool. Because to kind of deviate a little bit just for a hot second, that has been the rumor right now, has been that the reason why no one can guess kind of where the PS5 sits right now, the reason why it's considered more powerful right now than what was Xbox is, but that's the reason why a lot of insiders are saying that it might have a little bit of a downgrade, is because the system is running hot. And that's the issue, is that we're going to see what happens there. So I don't know.
Yeah. Sorry, I was responding for two quick texts here. Evie's up there screaming. Good. So I'm hopefully she stops, but if not, then we'll rush through here and wrap this thing up. TJ, welcome to the show. Good to have you. Let's reveal the winner of the subscription gift giveaway real quick. And it goes to either Enya Pline or Nate Dogg. The winner is Nate Dogg. Welcome back to the Plus One Posse. Nate Dogg, let me find the chat and give that to you right now. Where are you at? There you are. Nate Dogg, here you go, man. Thanks for being a part of this community. And I feel like this isn't the first time we've given you a sub, but we'd like to do it. Welcome back to the Plus One Posse, sir. We'll give you a wheel spin at the end to close this thing off. And right now we're going to get into our trailer of the week. Vince.
I have it up.
You have it up and ready to go. Cool. All right, I will give you the 3, 2, 1. Hold on one second on my end. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Cyrilla, you are the lion cub of Sintra.
Why do you think she's not safe? I saw an army. A sea of black and gold.
I don't like costumes.
No.
Destroy everything.
Yeah, Yen's not getting me.
This is why they came.
Bring me the girl alive.
I have to find Geralt of Rivia. We can stop Nilfgaard.
I will personally defeat them.
Join us. Why would I protect this? I want to be powerful.
I will take the girl, protect her, and bring her back unharmed.
I don't know. I wasn't really feeling that trailer.
Do not tell me that this is finally the moment you've decided to actually care about someone other than yourself.
Don't touch Roach.
Don't touch Roach.
Yeah, that's actually the same thoughts I had. I watched it earlier today from the link, and I was like, ooh, in a way.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't flow that well. I'm not talking about from like the quality of the production. I just feel like it wasn't a well put together trailer.
That second trailer, or I guess whatever the second one and all the ones that we got, was really well done. This one felt a little too, for a series that's supposed to be based off monster hunting. I think I saw one monster.
Yeah. Now, granted, in the comic, or not the comics, in the books, it's not near as big a focus, actually. Like, he doesn't hunt monsters that often. It's not like the world is filled with them to the brim. It's more of a rarity. Yeah. So
it's just what's weird to me about it is it felt kind of generic, if that makes sense. It felt weird. Like, that second trailer has had a lot of uniqueness and charm to it, whereas this feels like it was trying to be really Games of Thrones-y for whatever reason. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
I think Henry looks amazing, though.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board with him now. The more and more I see of him, I'm good with that. He is a fine Geralt.
Yes, he's very fine. The combat looks a little wonk. I'm sorry, combat. The action pieces look a little wonky from some of the camera angles that we've seen here. Except for him, like, he seems like he's doing a really great job with the physicality there. Yen, I'm not.
She has not sold me.
It was kind of funny. Like, I was fine with her, like, the first trailer. This trailer, like, kind of unsold me. I was like, ooh, no. Let's back up a little bit.
I'm still checking it out. Don't get me wrong. Without a doubt, I need to check this out and see how it is. I love The Witcher 3, and I want to see great video games turned into great television shows. This could be the start of something. This could continue on with Final Fantasy as well, now getting its own TV series based on Final Fantasy 14. Like, I want to see that there's potential here. So yeah, I'll be there day one, honestly.
I mean, the previews, I guess they're limited reviews right now. People are really high on the show, so there has to be quality there.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. We shall see. It's like, what, a week away or something? It's like,
it's the Star Wars day.
Okay. There you go.
So,
well, I'm not seeing Star Wars opening weekend, unfortunately, so I guess I'll be watching this.
Yeah, because of we're gonna go try to see it while we're in vacation and Christmas down in Florida. So it's like we're avoiding that. So, but it's like at the same time, it's like, oh my god, I gotta survive like 6 days or 5 days of no spoilers at all. It's like, God bless.
It's gonna be tough. I'm with you. It's gonna be tough. Guitar Freak says, I know Drew doesn't like cheesy. Yeah, I don't. It's very rare that I feel the cheese is appropriate. So no, I do not like cheesy. Full House is one of the best sitcoms ever. How dare you, Guitar Freak? Don't make me demod you. All right, let's move on here, and we're truly gonna treat this as it is called. Let's get into the Rapid Fire News Roundup. Ha! Because I got to get upstairs, especially if Evie keeps screaming the way she is. All right, first up in the Rapid Fire News Roundup, let's get into NPD results for November. It's always a big one, right? At the start of the holiday season, we'll go with software, top 20 going to 1. At 20, we got Mortal Kombat 11, then Grand Theft Auto 5 at number 19, still in there. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Breakpoint, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8, Just Dance 2020, The Outer Worlds, Borderlands 3, FIFA 20, and in the top 10, Luigi's Mansion 3 making it, Need for Speed Heat, NBA 2K20, at number 7, Death Stranding, Madden NFL 20 at 6, Pokemon Shield, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield Double Pack, Pokemon Sword, so they are the 3, 4, 5 spot. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order at number 2, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 at number 1. Huge. It is the best-selling game of 2019. We'll get into the top 10 in a moment. What a lot of people are focusing on is Death Stranding, going, number 7. And what I say to that is, like, what did you expect? Like, it's a Pokemon. It's Star Wars. It's Call of Duty. No, it wasn't going to beat those.
Yeah, I mean, like, everyone knows that I was always... If anyone didn't know, I was always joking when I'd say, like, this game's going to sell like 5-6 million copies. It was never going to.
I think it will ultimately get there. I think it could really get there.
The thing here, too, is look at the holiday sales that happened. Madden NFL 20 was, I think, on sale at most places for $20.
Yeah.
On some places there. It was ridiculous. Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Sword and Shield. I mean, like, let's be real. Like, it's going to be a thing.
Combine those into one game, which is essentially what they are, and suddenly Death Stranding is in the top 5. It's deceiving if you just look at it that way. It's not as bad as it looks. Death Stranding did just fine. It might not be like this seller to the point where Sony wants to gloat about it. It doesn't seem like they do want to gloat about Death Stranding sales, but I don't think that means that it's falling super below expectations or anything like that.
Nope.
I think it's doing just fine for them.
It's doing just fine.
Top 10 of 2019 as a whole. Anthem still squeaking on there with number 10. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order already in there at number 9. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Tom Clancy's Division 2. Kingdom Hearts 3 at number 6. Good for them. Mortal Kombat 11 making the top 5. Borderlands 3. Madden NFL 20. NBA 2K20. I've said this a million times. NBA 2K is number 2 or number 3 every year. It's insane.
Yep.
Call of Duty Modern Warfare is the best-selling game of 2019.
With 2 months. Wow.
Yeah. Amazing. Killing it.
Killing it.
Absolutely killing it. And hardware-wise, Nintendo Switch was number 1 and is number 1 for the entire year. Not a surprise at all. It's in the prime of its life. It has the Switch Mini or whatever it's called now. On top of that, it's got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. It's got Link's Awakening. It's got Pokemon this holiday. It was it was going to kill this holiday no matter what.
No matter what.
So good on them. They're killing it.
Them.
Moving on from that, Cliff Bleszinski is wanting to make a return
to games.
Well, not maybe specifically to games, actually. He really just said, I want to create again, was the gist. Let's read off his original tweet, though, way back when he was leaving gaming. He said, I paid my employees their 401ks and their health care, even months after the studio folded, which was Boss Key Games, so they could care for their families. I didn't take a salary of myself for 2 years. I get you're sad, but God, this kind of shit is another reason I am never making another game. Now, let me just say, Dean and I remember, read this story, and we were like, bullshit. Bullshit. You're throwing a hissy fit. You will be back. Give it a couple years, you will be back. Well, guess what?
Yep.
Cliffy B tweets out, I need to create. I miss it. I don't know what it will be. Writing, directing, maybe a game. But Lord, since I was a kid, I love doing it, and I need to do something again soon. The itch is back. No promises, though. He's back. He'll be back very soon. He couldn't stay away. We all knew it was going to happen. Stop lying to yourself and to us, Cliffy B.
Yeah.
You're not going anywhere. Moving on from that, we gave a hint at it earlier. Mortal Kombat 11 adds crossplay and did so so under the radar, right? It was just like a patch note pops up saying, hey, added crossplay. This is a big deal. Like, that's great. That's awesome.
It's the future, man.
The way of the future, man. Way of the future. So that's everything, right? PS4 and Switch and Xbox One?
Xbox and PC, I believe.
And PC.
I believe. I'm not sure. I can't actually quite remember now. Now I'm like, oh wait, shit.
It's all good. Either way, that's great.
It's still a big deal.
That's a very big deal. Future is here. Every game from now on, I think we're going to see have crossplay of the big guys. Going back to VR, and I hinted at this earlier of some sad news for PSVR fans. Yes. Half-Life Alyx right now is not being considered for PSVR. So according to Valve, quote, we believe Sony's VR platform has been a huge success for the medium, and we assume that lots of Sony customers would love to experience this new chapter of Half-Life. Still, a port of the game for PSVR is not in development. Coomer went on to explain that the reason it isn't being developed is so that Valve can focus on the initial launch of the game. Still, despite not working on it at the moment, Valve has said, quote, not ruling anything out.
Yep.
So hopefully they can make it happen. I think it would be a huge win for PSVR, obviously.
Yeah, definitely shuts down some of the rumors that I had said even previously on the show, saying that was a rumor. It sucks, but hopefully with PSVR too. Yeah,
that's a possibility. Maybe they're mincing words here, and what they're actually saying is, maybe not for PSVR, but we are working on it for PSVR too. Yeah. I doubt it, but you never know.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Moving on, back to 7 Remake. The box art is officially done and out there. It is on Square Enix website, and 2 things were confirmed with it. One being, I believe, a teen rating. I think I saw.
It was a teen rating.
Rated T. And the other being, in the bottom right-hand corner, it says exclusive to PlayStation, but with a little asterisk saying that exclusivity ends on March 4th, I think I saw, of 2021. So exactly 1 year after the PS4 version releases. So a 1 year exclusivity. Sony bought this thing out for a year. No surprise. It's very important to the legacy of PlayStation 7 and now the remake. But what I was more surprised to see is how people were like, oh my God, I can't believe this is coming to Xbox. How did they not keep this to PlayStation? Or the opposite, saying like, I can't believe this isn't come to Xbox for a year. It's like, where have you been?
Yeah.
The literal launch trailer, or the reveal trailer, I should say, for 7 Remake ended with play it first on PS4. We have known this game was multi-platform and coming first to PS4 for 4 years now. Like, I don't know why people are complaining. I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, I was actually kind of secretly hoping that it was going to be one of those like, oh, wait, nope, it's exclusive to the PlayStation now. Like
100%?
I was hoping so, because I just think that would just make the team, like the development for the game just go so much smoother than I was hoping now all the parts would come out and then it would go multi-platform, you know?
Well, I mean, we don't have confirmation that it's coming to Xbox. It could just be coming to PC.
That's another thing too. Or there could be that wiggle room for Sony to where like, yeah, we have a year, and they could always keep extending that.
Or it's a year because it's launching on PS5 next year, and that's all it means.
Or that's the thing too, is that they're only part 1 comes on PS4 and everything else is all on PS5.
The fact that it's a year shows that it's like a 1-year exclusivity buyout.
I know we're trying to overthink it, but it's
not. Well, it could be PC. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's like Epic Game Store exclusive.
Oh my God, the salt. Oh my God.
Well, we got Vanquish up on screen right now because Vanquish and Bayonetta are both being remastered and bundled together, coming to Xbox One and PS4 in February. Pretty cool.
I'm surprised by that in a way.
What's good news about this is Bayonetta is infamously known for being awful on PS3.
Yes, so it's finally a chance to shine again.
Yeah, 60 FPS, probably 1080p, or maybe even 4K. We'll have to wait and see. But finally, going to have a great version of that game on PlayStation consoles. And finally, big streamers are re-signing with Twitch for multi-year deals. So Twitch is jumping on board this war and buying out their streamers. The 3 that have been bought out and re-signed with a multi-year deal with Twitch are Dr. Lupo, Tim the Tatman, and Lyric. All 3 of those very big. Very big streamers. So, yep. Good for them. Making that money, man. Making that money. Lots of money. I can't even, I would think $10+ million, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So good on those guys. It depends on how many years, I guess it is. It might be 1 year for one of them or 5 years for another one, depending on how much they were willing to be bought out for, but yeah. You guys are saying in chat, yes, getting it day one with 1 vote. I don't think too many people voted. Actually, just one person voted. So we've lost most people. Most people have fallen asleep at this point, and we're about to do the same, I think, because that is the show. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a couple wheel spins to do. We'll finish that off right now. Nate Dogg was gifted a sub by me. This one's for you, Nate Dogg. 20 XP, and another one for Enya Pline, who was gifted by Guitar Freak. That's 20 plus 15, 35 XP to the entire room. What a great show tonight, man. Lots of great stuff to talk about. Thank you so much to Vince for being here. Everybody give Agent Vincent 4756 that follow. He streams more than me at this point. So, he streams a lot more than I do. So he's the one to follow. Give Agent Vincent 4756 to follow in chat. There he is. Hit his name. Uncle Tommy, welcome to the show. Unfortunately, we are wrapping up. But thank you so much to everybody for being here tonight. We had 9 subs. 9. We're just 1 sub away from hitting that daily sub goal. We're just 1 follow away from hitting that daily follow goal. So now is your chance to help us hit those real quick and do high points wheel spins. Hit that follow button if you're new here at twitch.tv/The Level Up Show. I'm on every Wednesday with Variety Game Streams. Well, mostly every Wednesday with Variety Game Streams. And we're moving the Level Up Show next week, starting next week, always from now on, to Sundays. And I believe it will be 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So that will be the new day and time for the Level Up Show. I apologize for inconvenience and confusion, but Saturdays just were not really working for me. For one reason, just because it doesn't feel right. Like Sunday just feels right for me. And on top of that, it makes it really difficult for me to get the show together by Saturday night. This will help me keep the show to the quality that it's been from the very beginning. And I don't want to pull back at all. I don't want to stop doing videos for certain segments or this or that. I want to make sure we keep the quality of the show consistent. So we will be back to Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That is right, Guitar Freak. And apologies if that doesn't work for you. But Sunday. That is right. King Kurt, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show. You work in the morning. I do work in the morning on Mondays. That is why I'm going to start it earlier on Sunday nights. And I know that, there's going to be some people that doesn't work for, but in the end, I unfortunately just have to make it work for myself first. And hopefully people will follow. And speaking of, hit that follow button, guys. Or hit that sub button if you especially appreciate the stream. We had a lot of subs tonight. No after show this evening, but maybe we'll get an after show next week. We'll have Mike here next week because we are doing, and Vince, you of course are welcome as well, because we are going to be doing sort of our version of the level uppies this year. It's not going to be like past years. It's really going to be a very conversational discussion of the categories. We're going to narrow it down to just 10 categories. We'll still do polls in the chat for you guys, but it's going to be very conversational this year for the level uppies, just because it wasn't a very exciting year for me to put together level uppies, in all honesty. But we're also going to get Mike here in the new year for our Game of the Decade tournament, and I'm very excited for that.
Okay.
And I think we're going to try and get Dean here for that, and Vince, it'd be great if you're here for that. We'll get a full four-person team to do the Game of the Decade tournament.
So let me just clarify this here. So Sunday, it's going to be, we would like to be you, Mike, and then me doing the level up.
And I might see if Dean is willing to join that day as well. No promises there. I haven't talked to Dean about it, but I'm going to see if he's interested in joining us next Sunday as well for that, since it's a big discussion, and the more voices we have, the better.
Okay. And then the following thing would be Game of the Decade in early January.
We're thinking mid-January right now, yeah.
Okay, cool. The great thing, too, since you're moving to Sunday now, is like if you were going to do it Saturday, I was like, I'm not going to actually make it. I told Mike that, and Mike was like, oh my God, are you serious? Because I have a wedding I'm going to on Saturday.
Okay, well, yeah.
So it works out that you're going to Sunday. It's great.
Yeah.
It works out perfect.
There you go. Perfect. Thank you so much again to everybody for watching tonight. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much for all the conversation in the chat and just being here in general and supporting the show in the ways that you do. Vince, thank you so much for joining me as well and helping me do this show every week now, it seems.
Yeah, dude, thanks for having me on here. It's always awesome to be here. I always love being on the show with you guys and talking and, just discussing everything. It's so much fun. It's awesome. It's an awesome experience.
All right, guys, that is it for us. I hope to see you on Wednesday. I believe I will be switching over to Jedi Fallen Order, and I hope you guys can be around for that. All right, we will see you next time. Until then, take care. And as always, don't forget to level up.